Okay, let's see if I can do it first time this time. Last time it took a couple tries, didn't it, guys?
Hey, last
Don't
one was
now,
the
I
first time,
can't,
so.
don't. This is like being back in school.
Oh, hey, just quick question. I curse like a sailor. Is there any ratings requirements? Should I keep that down?
You
Or
wait until me and Joe
is it
start talking. We're from the UK, dude.
okay?
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah,
fair.
every other
We're not
word is
streaming
gonna
on
be.
Twitch.
I'm not gonna lie. Actually, last time we recorded, I tried to keep it tame because you guys know I curse like a sailor too. So Cody's right on with that. I was trying to keep it nice. I think I dropped 2 F-bombs last time.
Oh, there was some
Nice.
funny moments though. There was some funny moments. Okay, right.
Okay.
Straight face. Hey everyone, so welcome to the GunPla Idea Factory, the best Gundam podcast in town. And today, we're all here, well, almost all of us. So let's get on and let's get talking. So last time, everyone, we went way off script. I mean, it was a cool experience, but today we're sticking to the script, right? And first up,
Oh, yeah.
we've got our current builds. This is a Gundam podcast, and we are Gundam focused, surprisingly, if you've seen our episode 0. And today we'll be talking about our current builds, and we've decided to start with Jake, as he's recently finished his up and has quite a bit to talk about. So over to you, Jake.
Oh, well, thanks, David. Don't know that I've got a lot to talk about with it, but yeah, just finished up the GM cult types for #GM July, and yeah, it's they look nice. I'll be posting them tomorrow, which will be Monday, July 10th, is it? Yeah. And yeah, so you guys can see them then and enjoy them.
They're
Took a
cool.
lot of work.
They're cool kits. They're quite old kits as well, aren't they? From what you've been saying, they're not.
Yeah, I think they're actually 20 years old next month,
Wow.
or
Wow.
something.
Wow.
Something's 20 years old at this point. I think it was either that or the Gramps 3.0,
Yeah, but
because yesterday was Gundam Day.
right. Yeah, mine's still in the box, the 3.0. But we were actually talking a while ago when we were talking about Shinanju's and the Stein, how back in the day everything sort of, the cool version of everything was the Arctic version, wasn't it? You know, whether it was any sort of action figure, you'd get your standard type, and then the two cool versions would always be an Arctic type or like a desert type. And I always went for the Arctic type. I thought they were really cool. And I think it's the same
Saying
sort
the
of
Arctic
flavor
type
that-
is cool.
Yeah, very cool. I mean, the desert types
Really,
are hot.
really, Cody?
The desert
you.
types are
Thank
hot,
you.
but the Arctic types are just much cooler.
Oh, it's hot. Nice.
Yeah, I tried to put some snow on them with some weathering. You'll see it whenever I post the pictures, but they turned out okay. I think they got a little more dirtied up than I wanted, but they looked okay.
They look cool. I did blast this you. I think it was on private message. It wasn't in the group, but I really think some sort of camo netting over them, like the grey and black camo netting. I think that would look really cool if you can pick that up from a hobby store or whatever. I think, but
Yeah, I might have to go hit up Hobby Lobby, or I don't know if Michaels might have something like that, but maybe.
I think that would be really cool. But when it comes to like the standard types, I think they always look cooler with a little bit of an extra flair, like like snipers, or just sort of that combat feel more than the actual robot in space feel personally. But that's just a personal preference.
Mhm.
Any
Yep.
tips?
All
Any
right.
tips, Joe?
I think
Sorry, man. Any tips, Joe? You're the master at making things look cool like that.
I won't say I'm the master. I enjoy weathering. For the snow and camo effects and stuff. If you want to build it up, like you said, you put the snow on. I saw the pictures. You post up into the chat, I believe, and the snow's just like the way it's settled. I just throw some. Trying to like chuck everything around. I just throw some weathering onto it. I've got the weathering dust, and basically you just want to ease it in and then give your model a shake after you've put the material on, and basically it sort of fills it a bit more natural gradient. Did it with my tanks when I used to do Warhammer, and yeah, they looked heavy in dirt.
Yeah, that was the thought, because I literally had to just pile it on there for some parts.
Yeah, it
Because I
will.
don't know
It
if it
won't
might be the
stick
Tamiya.
naturally.
Yeah, it did not want to stick.
Also, just a bit of wash. Just throw some wash into like the recess, and it just sort of like drags the contrast in because then you've got the bright white panels. Uh, don't know who I could show you it on because everyone else is really dark, like with my
We look
greenish
for that
red.
when you snap build stuff like that. Do you, or I'm a snap builder? I'm sorry. So I'm not familiar with weathering or painting. Do you guys top coat your stuff even before weathering and all that stuff? Does that affect the plastic at all?
For myself, I just throw a wash on.
Just throw it
Literally
on.
throw a paint
Fair
and
Yeah.
wash on.
Doesn't need
Tell me
it.
Yeah,
you
That's
literally, I
cool.
40k.
just threw it
Tell
on
me you're
there.
40k without telling me you're 40k.
Yeah.
Literally, it's just if paint sticks, fine. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Joe and I are much of the same mentality. If it sticks, fine. If not, then I'll top coat it and make it stick.
Got
yeah.
it.
uh,
Some
we
things I
moving?
will prime some things though to make sure that it gets right. But
Yeah,
Sure.
that's understandable. Who's Trey? Your project's coming along, mate?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I wasn't sure if Jake was done there, so that's why I was kind of waiting for the
oh
cue.
yeah, no, I'm sorry. Let's segue on over to Trey here.
It's
Oh,
You
going
boy,
well.
what you
Ding,
got?
ding, ding. I'm done with the segment.
So, what I just finished recently, I think it was maybe like no, it was Wednesday on my Wednesday live stream. I just finished the Dynamez,
Ooh.
and I gotta say this is a really MG by the way. I gotta say it's like a really solid kit. Other than that, the only beef I have with it is the photo that I sent David was I sent him a few, but there was one where it was like lying down with the sniper kind of like taking aim like that. It was a pain to get it into that pose. I don't know if you guys had this issue there, but the head kept popping off even with like the V fin down, and it wasn't like a bad pop off. It was just like I couldn't figure out how to angle it properly without taking off the back piece. But that's legit my only gripe with the kit. It was an amazing build, super solid, super sturdy. Oh, and for all my OCD people out there, the runners were absolutely clean at the end. There's like no leftover. Okay, that's a lie. Just like the back parts of the hands were the only two leftover parts from the entire kit. But the rest of the runners, clean. I love that when that happens.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Um,
building that kit too. I thought it was a really cool kit, but just like you, there is some poses it doesn't like to go in, and it's a few poses because it's got long legs. It's got really long legs that it just looks kind of strange in as well. But I think I
Yeah.
nailed it with that one. I think it's got the long legs to really get that kneeling pose. You know, the one that's on the box at the back. I've got mine in the
Yeah,
kneeling pose.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it looks really good.
Like
Yeah, a cheat way that you might do it, Trey, is blue tack. Put some blue tack in the neck.
We were talking about that last
To
time
get
as
it to-
well. Yeah.
Yeah, to get it to angle back a little bit further.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hit the dollar store, and when I'm reloading on supplies, I'll definitely put that on the list. But as of right now, my current situation, I kind of have to work with what I have. So yeah. But
Anyway,
other
do you
than
have a
that, the articulation. Sorry, go on.
I was just about to say I do have a question regarding the build. How was it building it
Yeah,
on camera? Because usually you're up in your lab cooking in secret, aren't you? So how was it to do that in front of everyone's eyes?
Okay, it wasn't that bad. It was different. So usually the way that I build my kits is that I cut everything out of the runners and I have them separated by sections first. So I go like torso, I put torso and head together, then I go like left arm, right arm, like pretty much all the way down. And then once they're all cut, then I start removing the nubs. But this time around, because it was my first kit that I built on stream, I did it differently. So I was going like section by section. Well, to like by the instructions there. So I will go cut out the body, clean the body, assemble the body, rinse and repeat, going all the way down. And it was, I found it was like more enjoyable that way because that you're kind of like switching up the process instead of like cutting everything out, then cleaning everything, because then you're kind of stuck in that cleaning process for like X amount of time. And thinking about it, I think that's what attributed to my burnout from Project Chimera, because like I built it that same way pretty much 4 times over because of the 4 different unicorn kits I used. But moving forward, I think that's gonna be the way to go for me in building kits. Like, and this is not one of my top secret projects, Project Zodiac. So it's the only kit that I pretty much have as a top secret is the. I don't know if I want. Okay, I'll say what kit it is, but I won't say what and who I'm collaborating with. It's the High New Gundam with the heavy weapon system, and it's over there in the corner. But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I have that's redacted, quote unquote.
But they can see the snap build of that, can't they? If they look at your Instagram, they can see the snap build.
That's true. That's true.
Cool.
But in terms of what I'm gonna do with it, I'm still designing. I have the color palette. I gotta send you the color palette afterwards. Well, I'm gonna send everyone in the group chat just to see what colors I'm messing around with. And other than that, I don't really have much else to say to talk about.
Cool stuff. Well, it's a cool kit anyway. The Dynames. I think we can all agree on that. Has everyone here built the Dynames?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's actually my
Absolutely.
backlog.
It's probably the best 00 kit, hands down.
Even past the Virtue?
I think it's... Yeah, the Virtue, it's got some issues. It's predominantly back heavy with the backpack on it. Like
Yeah, with all
I think
that
the backs of the feet. Yeah, well, I think the backs of the feet needed to be about like maybe a centimeter longer. Kind of like how the I think the enhanced Zeta that P Bandai did had the little tabs on the back of the feet to keep it standing up straight.
Sure.
I think the Virtue needed something like that. But yeah,
It's
the
pretty much
Dynamis,
assumed you're going to be on a base.
Yeah, the Dynamis is probably the most solid of all the 00 kits.
Yeah.
And I've built almost all of them at this point.
Nice.
We're talking 00 kits. I have the Dynamis right here. I have the Virtue right here in the backlog. I got the
Nice.
300 on.
Nice. Yeah, so that was on when you guys saw my closet earlier. The left side is all my seed and other master grades, and then on this side over here is where the 00 kits are hiding. They're up and tucked in. So once I finish seed, I'm going into 00, just like when I watched the series.
Nice.
Well, it's a cool kit.
Nice.
It definitely gets a thumbs up from me anyway. And I know at the moment, Joe, you've not got a lot going on in terms of Gundam projects.
Not yet.
But we do have a few other things to talk about later in the podcast, which you are currently up to, which is cool. So
Yep.
I'm going to skip straight over to Cody, if that's all right, and we can talk about what you've currently been doing.
Yeah, of course.
Sure. So I think in our images that we have, I just finished the water slide, my first ever water slide decals on the high grade Infinite Justice. That was an experience. I never used water slides before. I think it turned out pretty decently. Hopefully the pictures that I sent to it a decent amount of justice. So before I get on to my next kit, I am working on the high grade Destiny, also with water slide decals. Once we get there, I haven't even opened it, but this kit's been done. Go for it.
Sorry to jump in, mate.
No,
what do you
okay.
use to get your water slides off? Do you use water? Do you use any certain solutions?
Just to get them off, so just your standard, kind of somewhat warm-ish water, not cold. That way it wants to release off the backing, is everything I seem to have read, and that's what folks have been saying in the group chat. So warmish water, not hot because you don't want to boil them.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Yeah.
Or you don't want them to curl, but just enough so that they want to lift. The thing is some people I noticed they submerge them all the way. I was trying between submerging, whether I had the option to, or they just decided to sink. Or I'd let them sit on the top and then immediately take them off and soak on a rag. So that way it still had the water, but it didn't want to completely slide off every time I'd grab the damn thing. So I think that worked out for me. There are some stuff online where it's like a sponge. It's a water slide kit, and it's in a like a pencil box with a wet sponge, and you get that
Yeah.
all nice, and then you just let it sit on that. I think that is a really good way to go. So that way it doesn't sink. You don't have to worry about all that stuff. But then now it's sitting on something wet and it's being activated. Other than that, this is bare
Yeah, it's-
plastic.
Sorry,
Go for it.
Cody. It's essentially
No,
a
you're
wet
okay.
pallet.
Yeah,
Oh, all right, that's cool.
Yeah.
for those
I
who
was
know
gonna
what that
ask,
is.
are you doing third-party decals or are you doing Bandai decals?
Third party.
Okay.
I'm kind of nutso, and I like to keep everything super consistent. And I went through and was like, which ones, in people's, I guess, opinion, what are the better consistently across the board? Some are going to say, G rework. A lot of people like, but some have found that they had tearing issues or like they're in and out. I went with Delpy. I really like Delpy decals. I like the way they look. They're a pain to get because they're mostly from South Korea, and I can order straight from them, so that part was nice. But if I want to order anything from a stateside store, the selection's pretty low, so I have to do some bulk orders in order to get them, which is good because
here
I
we
have
are,
bulk
guys.
to do.
So if any mom and pops, UK or US retail stores are listening, get in contact with Delphi, get some stock in. We want them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because everybody does the Bandai ones, and I haven't tried them. I don't have enough experience with the other ones, but I like the consistency. So I went with Delpy, and I think I'm going to stick with Delpy because I like this first experience was real nice. But
Yeah, I don't want to
also,
bash our Lord and Savior Bandai, but Bandai water slides are not great.
not great.
Like they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I figured they're primo at making model kits, and I'm gonna leave it where they are professionals at, and then we'll go to the other
Yeah.
people who specialize, right? Plus the holographic Delpies, man, they're just, oh my goodness, I am so excited. So I did flat, whatever matte ones for the Infinite Justice because that's all they have. The Destiny is gonna be holographic, so that's gonna be my comparison. So that should be
Have
really nice.
Have you looked at Simp? Have you looked at Simp decals?
No, but I've heard of them. I think there's another Instagram that I followed early on, and she was like posting them. I think she's partnered with them. But they look pretty decent, but I'm not sure about those. I don't know.
They've got some for the Garibaldi that I want to try because they've got some for it that the backing of the shields. They've actually got gray ones that you can put up in there
Okay,
for the backing on the
That's
shields.
cool.
So I thought that looked really cool. Yeah, I was gonna try those.
that I might need to pick up in addition to the Delpies because while the backs are nice, if it's panel lined, I think it needs some separation. If they ever do a master grade of that, I want to see some detail,
Might have to wait
Other
a
than
little
that,
while.
it's just sadder and softer.
Still waiting for IBO MGs, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I think they just kind of
Only
forgot.
Barbatos so far. We
Mm-hmm.
need more, man. A lot more.
It's getting an MGS.
Telling you, those P Bandai armor packs are coming, man. Just like they did for the F90s. Because the Gundam frames, they're all the same, so they'll just give us, say, hey, here's the P Bandai armor pack for the Vidar, P Bandai armor pack for the Bale.
And then we
Was
don't.
the Gusion Gundam by chance? The
Yeah,
Gusion remake?
was the big green one with the hammer.
Yeah, so the
Start
big
with.
green toad looking one, then it turned into the brown. You had the rebake,
Yeah.
and then Full City. I wasn't sure if that was a Gundam frame. I didn't. So I was curious if it used the same frame as the Barbatos. I thought
Yeah.
it might. Okay.
Yeah,
then there you
supposedly
go.
it's a Gundam frame. I don't know how it works, but it's a Gundam frame.
Space magic.
We don't Just
You can't say
Just
anything
enjoy it,
bad
that's
about IBO. They will find you and they will lynch you.
Hit you with that big ass hammer that the Barbatos has.
oh my goodness.
Bring it. Bring it. Bring it.
Anyway,
I
this-
accept all challenges.
This is the
Right.
perfect segue. Unless you have anything else to say, dude, this is like the perfect segue into what I've been building anyway.
I'm not going to break a segue. I will not. I had a small note, but I will save it to the end. You can just segue right into it.
I'm segueing straight into the Gundam Barbatos. Finally finished
Hell
him. Finally finished him.
Nailed the segue. Stuck the landing. Perfect.
10 on 10.
So yeah, I'm just gonna throw it up full screen here, and everyone can glory in its beauty. And if anyone disagrees, then you're wrong. The Barbatos is beautiful.
And he's gonna hit you with the hammer, or the sword, or the sniper rifle. Dude is just equipped.
Oh man, it comes with
I
everything.
submit my 2-week notice. I submit my 2-week notice.
No worries, dude. Give it to Barbatos. He'll show you out.
That is nice. Actually, it was funny. I bought
Mikazuki,
the high
you know
grade
what to
and
do.
immediately. The high grade versus the master grade, dude. That detail with the pink. That's how I'm looking forward. As soon as I finish the high grade, I was like, I got a master grade. How was the build on that one?
There was one part where, like, I kind of turned it the wrong way and I snapped a piece, and I thought perhaps I did myself in. But there's so much stuff that just joins into other stuff on that build. It's insane. Like, Trey's built it as well, so he knows what I'm talking about. There's just like,
Oh my god.
yeah,
Talking about the chrome bits, maybe?
yeah. At the top,
the chrome
there's like,
pistons?
there's the pistons I found fine, but the bit that it went into, and you had to like sort of turn it. And I turned it a little bit the way it didn't want to go, but in the end, there was like another
Right.
piece that sort of push fit in over the top of it, and it held it in place anyway. So I got away with that. So that's just something, if anyone is
Yeah.
building it, to look out for. Just make sure before you start heavy handing it, just make sure everything's the right way, the right orientation. It's not your normal, give it a little bit more force and it'll go in the joint kind of kit. It's one that you have to kind of pay attention to a little bit. But it's really cool. I liked how the armor sort of fit over the top of the frame. That was a very different experience compared to building most Gundam, where you could just sort of see it sort of come to life as you started putting on like the shin pieces and the shoulder pieces, and that sort of stuff. And with my builds, I tend to have one slow build in the background, like an MG or an RG, that I take a little bit more time over, and then I've usually just split that up with the Witch from Mercury kits that I'm sort of Pokemon in. I've got to catch them all. So I've built the Demi Barding, and I've built the Hindry Strum, just clean snap builds of those as well, and that's where I'm at now. That's everything I've built in the past month. How am I doing on the Witch from Mercury stuff compared to you, Joe? What are you at the moment? How are you looking? Because you've got almost all of them as well, haven't you?
You just start stacking shit in the background.
He's just looking at his Witch from Mercury backlog.
You said Witch from Mercury, and I just see kits start rising. I'm like, I don't think those were there before.
The Lands of Soul to build, the Heavy Swart, the Demi Barding, which one's that? The Heindel
Is that Barding already out for you guys?
Yeah, I get it from Japan. So I order from,
Oh.
and I've got the gut.
Very nice.
Man, there's a few guys got the Schwarzette already. I'm not happy.
Yeah,
that's
in. That's already in my backlog, waiting to be shipped.
I went out looking.
I'm like,
I went out looking for it today, but no joy. But yeah, I'm not happy.
Yeah, I was gonna
I'm
ask
not
if you
happy
found
people got the
one yet,
Schwarzette
David.
from me. I know. It's surprising, isn't it? But as soon as it gets here, that'll be here. I've got Gunvolver to build as well, but it's just Gunvolver and the two Gundams. And then, I think that's me fully up to date on the Witch from Mercury stuff, which is kind of crazy.
did you get your
Funny enough note, David,
Did
for
you get your
the
Caliban?
for the Schwarzette. Oh, sorry, Joe.
No, it's alright.
The funny enough note for the Schwarzette. My hookup guy that I know who's in Japan right now, he posted on Facebook Marketplace page that I'm in, the Gundam Bites page. He has a Schwarzette, or had one, I should say. Yeah, had one, because I saw it Friday morning. I sent him a message saying, "Stop tempting me, damn it." And he goes, "I already sold it. Like I thought you were gonna message me, but somebody else beat you to it." I was like, "It's okay. It's all good. I'm just gonna wait and be patient and suffer."
Yeah, they'll get you.
Yeah.
They'll get you. That's one of the things I will say about the Witch from Mercury stuff, like when I started getting into the Witch from Mercury, nothing was available. Like the normal Lauder's Delanza, you know, the green one, that was impossible to find. Managed to get hold of one. The 2 Figure Eyes kits of Soletta and Miron, they were impossible to find. Lefrith, I waited way too long to get a Lefrith. But
Yeah.
pretty much now you can, at least here, you can walk out and buy anything. Anyone you want, you can walk out and you can buy. I don't know if it's...
When they've had a massive restock in like the last month or two, just stateside and just abroad, it just looks like they just have been dumping everything into Witch from Mercury.
Yeah.
And it shows.
Yeah, even a couple of my stores in
Sorry, man.
same shit. Just... It's all good.
Nah,
I was gonna say, Wait, who's gonna talk? Let's go.
You talk. You talk.
Okay. I was gonna say about the restocks too. Like even like a few stores in Canada, like Planet Otaku, Shukon, and Gunpla. Like you walk in and you just see like walls of WFM stuff. It's been a
up to
massive
the ceiling.
Yeah, like worldwide, I'd say.
I think as
Joe,
well.
what do you get now?
Well, you guys get to actually walk into places to see kits. I have to look online. So, which kind of sucks because the local comic book shop to me, great place, just the kits are super inflated. Like the Nightingale was like 90 quid. I paid 50 online. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, with all the Witch from Mercury kits, I've had every single one. I pre-ordered the entire set, like everything that was coming up on pre-order. I was like, pre-order. And people were like, why are you pre-ordering all of them? I was like, I've missed out on kits before, and I'm not doing it again for this. So just get it all. Get it out of the way. Even if I don't get around to building it straight away, it's going to be sat there. I've got all of it in one. Done. So
at one point, they're gonna get built.
yes,
right.
that's the whole. That's the future.
As long as you don't insert any other kits in between.
That's weird.
Who does that?
That's
Come
just
on
part
now.
of life.
Yeah.
Pay no attention to the 31 plus kits back in this closet.
Ignore this, please.
Over there, yeah. Over there, see those? Yeah, they've been there for about 2 years now. And they just keep piling up.
Keeps regenerating somehow. We don't know how.
Yeah, I get another Gundam in, like another actual Gundam that it's like, oh hey, I've wanted this one for a long time. I don't see that. I don't see any of that up there.
Oh, wife gets me. She's like, "Isn't that another? You've already got a whole bunch." I said, "Well, I've been chasing this one." It's like, "You say that about every single one." I said, "Well, it's true about every single one."
Personal attack right there, yeah.
You know what? Dow's pretty chill with my Gundam stuff. She likes taking photos of them and stuff as well. And because she sort of jumped in at the Witch from Mercury stuff and they all look kind of different, anytime I want to buy a Gundam, you know, the tricolor, she just says, haven't you got that one already? So as long as it doesn't look like a Gundam, I'm okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, looking at
Joe, where do you order if you're in the UK? Where do you do HLJ?
Yeah, I exclusively use HLJ.
How's the shipping?
I usually do FedEx or EMS now. I do EMS, so I can get it within like 3-4 days. And, shipping's
Did you do the
bit.
pile of loot, or so that way you can save on shipping? Because I'm very curious. I've always wanted to do that one. Because the markups are insane because they include shipping on their side. So when you look at like the price on HLJ for like a Sinanju Stein narrative was like maybe $50-$60, but once it hits stateside it's like $80-$90. It's like, well, fuck it.
I mean,
I don't even want to think about Canadian quid. Like,
No, I'm not going there. I'm not touching that one.
so it's like most of these kits are like dirt cheap. Like the Camphor, I think it was like £13, if that, which is nuts.
I know. Seeing those yen prices just make me want to cry. But then,
for real.
On the other hand, I walked through the Lego section for fun the other day, and I was like, okay, I'm happy with Gundam. That's cool. I mean, I could do hard drugs, and it would be cheaper than Lego.
Oh, dude, for real. Dude, this guy back here was one of my last major sets because it's just so damn
what did that
expensive.
set
I bought
you
this
back?
one on sale.
Kidney
So
or
it's
leg?
crazy.
Kidney or leg? What it cost?
Right. It is. So I think it was 300. No, 350 when it came out. Right. Lego in the last summer pop prices up because they were trying to
Yep.
match inflation. So when this guy came out, it was 350, and then they're like, "We're not making enough on this. We need to pop it to 400."
Oh man.
Suffice to say, I did not pay that much. There's no way in hell. It's my favorite kit or favorite ship design. I love the
yeah.
Lardies, mate. I paid 285 because I bought it from a UK shop, I think called Zavvi. And
Yeah, that used to
apparently,
be Virgin Media.
yeah. So if you guys need to get the hookup on cheaper Lego sets, that's the way to go. And the shipping was free because of the price. So the tax between the tax that I paid was still under $100 less than what the max price I paid under 300, and it's at 400 at the time for MSRP. I was like, I can't get this lucky again. I was praying. I was like, please make it here, please, because I didn't know this website. But yeah, no, that's the last time because it's just so expensive.
Yeah.
Lego sets are now the new gold standard.
Dude, for real.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but yeah, that frightened me enough just walking through that section. Like, God, it was how much did they want just for like the one off the game? Is it? I forget what it's called. The one off the
BD?
game. I forget the name of it
You
now. It's
posted
been-
it.
Yeah, I
Was it
posted the
BD,
story of
Little
it,
Mech.
and it was like the price of like. I bet you I could have got
It
a
was like
Saiku Zaku for
£100?
cheaper.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If you're a
Yeah,
fan,
dude.
let me know. I work in a toy shop. So.
Well, no, I mean, it was just something that I was looking at whilst I was passing by. It's not like I haven't got anything to do with my, 30K kids in the backlog.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
ignore this. Ignore this.
This is nice, but I want this.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
other thing. I know it's a bit of a digression, but like that's where I've got into Gundam and GunPla was just these you
It's-
get for $20 you can make
Yeah.
shit last a week. Whereas
Yeah, it
20
is.
bucks in Lego, it's like, oh, there's 20 minutes. Done.
It's
It's this
with
big.
you.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
could buy,
So
as long as you're like a normal person who does other things and has other interests, like you could do an MG in a month and probably have time left over, 6 weeks or something if you're just doing it here and there. And for the price of most MGs, I think that's more than reasonable. I think you get decent amount of time out of it. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Like the
Anyway.
time is because I... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say I want to try and get onto the builds of the guys who aren't here just to try and keep on track and on schedule, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool stuff. So I'll throw it up on screen here for everyone to look at. But the first one is Christian's Triseed09 on Instagram, and he has another page dedicated to late UC lore called Late UC Obsession, as you can see on the screen at the moment. And this month he built the 1/100 Shoku, which I'm not familiar with, but I think Jake is. So I don't know if you want to just let people know what the Shoku is in case they're interested in picking one up for themselves.
Pretty sure that's one of the grunt suits from what are they called? Oh god, it's the bad guys from Victory Gundam. I can't remember.
Vesper,
I
isn't
keep
it?
wanting to say
Oh.
Crossbone Vanguard, but yeah, it's not Crossbone Vanguard. Crap. But yeah, the Shoku, it's a villain suit.
Cool.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's isn't it a full mechanics?
RE100, I think it's an RE100. Anyway, if you guys really want to know, then hit up Christian on Instagram. I'm sure he'll talk to you for days about it. But
Is
it's
it
a cool.
the-
Yeah, he is our
Zanskar
late
Empire.
UC king.
Yeah, you'll definitely be
Is that
seeing
the
it a lot more.
Zanskar Empire?
Yeah, I think it's
Zanskar, that's it. Thank you guys.
Person, does anybody get Metabots vibe from the Shoku?
Dude, maybe no.
A little
Roku
bit,
show.
yeah.
Absolutely
The
Roku
other one,
show.
the white one there. Yes, that's what I'm thinking when I first saw that.
That thing is fire. I didn't know that thing existed. I need to watch me some Victory Gundam now. Shoot.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to pick up some Victory stuff.
Well, I've got a victory 2
No,
sat
can't
down.
go on
Victory,
downstairs.
victory is good. Said victory is good. It's very dark.
Yeah, I can't look on the hobby link right now. I'm already getting kit behind.
And this is the problem, right, guys? It's just so much of it. And then I'm going to throw up on the screen here another shot of a few other things he's been doing on his late UC obsession page, and some really cool shots. I really like them. And again, if you want to know what they're from and what the deal is, I'm sure he'll be able to talk you through them, as well as some info in the descriptions of the pictures as well. And then Ken, who you guys haven't met yet. I think he's still lost in Hyrule somewhere. Haven't been able to pull him out for the past couple of weeks. And then we've also got David, who you probably all know. I mean, everyone follows him on Instagram, which is BlueCara7. He's the guy with the reels, and he's building the MGSD Freedom 2.0. Well, isn't the two? It's just the Freedom.
Just the MGSD Freedom.
Yeah, don't listen.
It looks
me.
like
It's
the 2.0.
Yeah, I got my 2.0 right over there, looking at me with evil
go.
eyes, like I am no MGSD. But yeah, I mean,
Is he going for the deactivated colors on it, or is it just custom painted?
It's custom painted. You'd honestly have to have a little chat to him about his thoughts on it. I think he's second only to Trey in regards to his secret projects, but I think it's going to come out cool. Like everything else he does, I think it's going to come out really cool. He seems to pick his kits. He's not like us who buys everything. He seems to pick
Hoards like a dragon.
really well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, because it looks really good actually. It's just like I keep seeing it and thinking it's either like G3 colors or it's the deactivated color scheme that they make.
It does look like the deactivated one because it's like the saturated, like off sort
Yeah,
of
that kind of grayscale.
and then the blue
Yeah.
well mixed in. So it does look like that because I've got the deactivated strike entry grid somewhere. I don't know where.
But yeah, anyway, so go give those guys a follow, and if you want to know anything more about those kits and what they're doing, then I'm sure they'll be happy to let you know in the comments or whatever. And that's actually all of us. That's us up to date on all of our current builds. So yeah, it's really cool to see, you know, the 00 stuff and Project Zodiac coming along with you, Trey. GM July, which we'll talk about shortly, but the cold types, that was wicked as well. And sometimes it's not always a new build. Sometimes it's reinvigorating them older kits, isn't it? It's like Cody with his water sludge. So I'm really happy with the selection that everyone's got. And come back next month, it'll be the same from me. It'll be 2 or 3 which were Mercury builds and an MG. If I'm very, very lucky, I I might squeeze one out, I think, in the next few weeks. But yeah, I'm always building pretty much a very similar thing. I like my hero suits. So jumping straight into the next stuff. So what we'll do is we'll follow the same track, if that's all right. So on my screen, we're pretty much going clockwise around, and we're going to talk personal projects, which can differ slightly from our current builds, but they are nonetheless Gundam adjacent. We're all creatives here. We all like to express our creativity in different ways. So what I'll do is I'll throw it straight over to Jake again. If there's anything you want to talk about, Jake, then you know this is the space in which we talk about it. This is, as well, guys, I just want to say for everyone watching, I want there to be a little bit of a flow to all this, so we've not scripted any of it. This is just talking points. We know we're going to talk about certain things, but I'm hoping for some honest reactions and some honest information rather than getting it all scripted. So if there's a few ums and ahs, just bear with us. This is only, episode 1. The other one was the pilot, right?
Yep.
Were you guys aren't scripted?
Disclaimer.
I wrote this all last night. It was episode 3.
You have a script.
This part's not on script, though.
Only 3?
Wait, what?
With all those words, dude?
You guys have teleprompters? What? So for the personal project aspect, mine is, it's my turn to be top secret now. I know I've posted a couple of stories about it on Instagram talking about the original character that I came up with that I've just been having fun with and writing about, and every so often I'll hit like a creativity spurt with it, and it's like, oh, this is really good. I'll go ahead and write this out. And here lately, it's just been kind of bleh. Like David can tell you, I messaged him, what was it, last week sometime, and I'm like, man, I don't know what I want to do for this part. And then it just kind of said, and it sat there for the rest of the week. But I'll get around to posting the next part of it eventually, and I'll tag it in the highlights so you guys can go to my page and read it if you want to. It's nothing too fancy, just a little side project, that comes to me every now and then. Other than that, yeah, it's yeah. It's UC based, so it's kind of dark. Like it's gonna be pretty dark when you read it.
That's why we're all here.
You're gonna sit there and go. You're gonna sit there and read it and be like, Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? Do you need a friend? Like, no.
We're at in the
Hey, you gotta-
timeline in UC.
He doesn't like
okay,
Final
actually,
Fantasy,
I can
so he's not gonna have friends, is he?
So I can disclose that part actually. The general overview for it is the character that I thought of is basically like a background character almost. He's seen everything from the 1 Year War all the way up to Crossbone. Like by the time that it is actually taking place and all that, like the headspace I'm in writing it, he's literally an old man.
Okay.
Like just retelling his story to somebody.
What side are we on?
Okay.
It's gonna flip a little bit.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Redacted.
I see. I like that.
Well, it does kind of flip
I'll
between.
disclose.
Yeah.
I'll disclose that part a little bit. It's gonna flip a little bit. So for the 1 Year War part of it, he starts out as Xeon.
Ooh.
Which, and if you guys have, if you guys notice and pay attention to the story, the mobile suits that he uses are actually the same custom paint jobs that I've got. The silver Goof Custom and the silver Gelgoog Jaeger.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
I'm down for this.
So there's a little bit of method to my madness with it, but so he starts out as Xeon, and I'm just about done with the 1 Year War. Like I'm literally at a Bawaku at this point. I'm probably gonna delve just a little bit and do something for 0083, like with the colony dropping Operation Stardust. But when it comes time for Zeta, I'm thinking he's probably gonna be aligned with the AUG instead of the Titans.
So regardless, he's
Titans,
still against EFSF at that point. So he's very space-noid. Okay.
And this is, I guess you could say that's actually my personal view on it, having, studied UC stuff for so long at this point, and just, absorbed all of it. The Federation are not the good guys. Even though they might seem like the good guys, they're not the good guys. I mean, they try to stop even worse shit from happening, but, they're not the good guys. Just like Xeon.
Yeah.
Xeon, they're not really the bad guys. They're fighting for the right reason, even if they did kill half of humanity to do it by dropping a colony, So it's just one of those things.
I think that's the beauty of Gundam, and especially UC Gundam, is that there is no real right or wrong. You're just seeing. I think that's where something really cool about having one particular character and following through will be good, because you're just seeing what if you were born in the wrong place, you were born in the wrong place, right? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I can't remember if it's part of a Gundam series where they say it, but there's heroes on both sides.
Yeah, that's a pretty common
Something I can't
throughput, especially with UC. C did a lot of that for sure, where pretty much all of the factions are flawed to almost fatal degree. Actually, a very fatal degree. Now, it's up to interpretation, I suppose, on who's worse at different varying points in timeline, because the UC timeline is so long. But yeah, absolutely. Both sides definitely have some very egregious issues that led to the events for sure.
Oh,
Yeah, other than that, I mean, that's pretty much my little personal project going on. So,
and GM
other than
July,
that,
GM July as well, dude.
oh, yeah. that's just a little fun hashtag I thought of because I thought about it, and you guys have probably seen my posts to the stories about how it's July 8th, July 9th. Ring up is 078 and 079,
9, yeah.
which are the model numbers. For most of like the RX-78, the GMs are 079. So it's like, let's have some fun with it.
Right on.
And I think hashtag GM July just rolls off the tongue really nicely.
Well, by
If
the time
you sometimes they're referred to as gyms as well, as the other way I've heard it. And if you don't have a shot of them curling for Gym July, I don't know what I'm doing here. A little bench press, get them on a table, and just freaking working iron. Let's go. Sorry about that.
I could probably make some out of sprues for them real quick. There is one person I do want to shout out though, because he is just taken to another level. I can't, like, I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about. I don't know how we pronounce his name, but it's like Chex Hanger, I guess. CHEHS. You guys know who I'm talking about?
I'll throw up a thing here, but yeah, he's the dude who we were talking about with the cool thunderstorm. What was it called? I can't even think of the name of it now. The green one, the Master Chief looking one, right?
Yeah, he is literally like he's got almost every single variant of the gym, the Jagan, like all of them. Like he is nuts. So big shout out to him for just spamming the hashtag. You're a champion. Much appreciated, man.
Well, by the time this goes live, there's still 2 weeks left of the month, so if anyone wants to get involved, then just throw the hashtag down. Let's see where you go. I mean, snap, built, painted, whatever, just go for it. Let's see some GMs.
Yeah.
I'll do some fodder for...
bring them on.
Yeah. I mean, those Zegox need something to kill.
Oh, there you go.
I wonder if people can guess what way we're all aligned just by our general conversation in
Oh, don't get me wrong. I love Federation grunts. I love the gym, the gun cannon. All of that's cool, but my allegiance lies with Xeon.
I can neither confirm nor deny my allegiance.
Still sat on that fence, eh?
I love me some unicorn, and I'm going to be right there.
I need to shuffle Trey over with you, and you can be doing unicorn stuff, going back to the past or whatever it is you guys do, chasing ghosts, right?
Magical space wizards. And Star Wars and Gundam collide. Oh, God.
We just hit each other with big sticks over here.
Pay no attention to the two literal unicorns sitting right back behind me and the two to my left off screen.
But yeah, that's about all for my personal projects, I guess. Moving clockwise now, Trey, you got anything? Or is it all top secret?
Half and half. A bit of both. All of the above. For personal projects, I'm gonna be knocking out this guy. Well, it's not really only because it's the oldest kid in my backlog. Next month would be a year in the log actually. So I'm just gonna finally knock that out. Top secret. Well, semi-top secret. This one was revealed already. So, oh snap. We're good? There we go. I'm gonna start decaling these guys. Project Chimera. This is the Phoenix there with the red, gold, and the blacks. I do have the two unicorns and the Banshee off screen. Those ones I'm still keeping on the DL, So I'm gonna start decaling those guys after I build this one, the Ale Strike. In terms of tops, okay. Before I go top secret, I'm designing the color palette for the Dynamez, Barbatos, and the top secret one that I'm designing. Well, I already kind of mentioned it, but I'm not saying what and who I'm doing it with. But the High New as well, and that's pretty much it for personal projects.
Sorry to stop you, man, but I mean this encompasses more than just the builds. I mean, if you want to talk about, because I have noticed in the past month you've started up your Twitch and you've started up your YouTube as well. and that seems to be.
Sure.
You seem to be in quite a groove with it, much more than I was. But then again, I've been laid low this past week, so forgive me for not uploading. Just ignore the week before as well.
You're
I'm not
not
gonna
dealing
lie.
with any world-ending virus or rendering virus. That is, good lord.
David's right. I've seen you two start dropping uploads on YouTube left and right. Seem like.
So for what the stuff there that I've been uploading on YouTube has just been like the broadcaster that I've done on Twitch. So on Wednesdays I do my build streams, and then on Saturday mornings I do my gaming streams. And I am also trying to get through record a playthrough for Final Fantasy 16. I have not touched that since I uploaded episode 2, which is part 2 of the intro. And the only reason being is that immediately after that intro, there's a dog on the screen. Like, I don't know if you guys have like kind of followed like some of the trailers of 16, but there's a dog in the game, and whenever my dog in real life sees a dog be animated CGI real, like he sees it, he goes nuts. So I just gotta figure out, like I can't record in the living room without him. So without him going crazy. So that's the only reason why I've kind of hit the pause button on the YouTube. Well, on the playthrough for Final Fantasy 16. But in terms of Twitch, like I said, Wednesdays are my build streams. Saturdays are my gaming streams. Now for my next one on Wednesday, I think I'm gonna toss a coin to see if I'm gonna start decaling at least the Phoenix on stream, or if I'm gonna crack the Il Strike on screen. So it's one of the two.
What kind of decals are you working with?
Oh, water slides. I
brand.
have them here. You are the ones that came in box there, and then I have this one.
Oh, right.
What's the brand? Yeah, this is my whole little Ziploc of water slides.
We were shitting on Bandai's water slides earlier, and then I didn't want to. No, hold on. So when it comes to Bandai water slides, when you talk Bandai, right? Are we just talking about the add-on ones? Because does that include the Veracall water slides? Are those, on par?
Can't say I've used them myself.
I don't know about Bandai water slides because I've only done, where is it? Just the one kit with the Bandai water slides, which was the Banshee there that I did the color correction, and like I did have a slight issue of one piece, like so there's one like AE sticker, and then the top flap of the E word, so that was like my only problem with it. But other than that, I have not had any issues with Bandai water slides. But I did get my hands on this one, which is Simp branding. We were talking about Simp earlier, and it's basically the water slide for the M corn. So
nice.
Mix and match this with some of the rest of the water slides there that came with it.
Fire.
And we're gonna see how it goes.
Righteous.
Very cool.
Shout out, definitely that Twitch stream on Wednesdays is lit. I'm at work and
Yeah.
I'm jumping on every time, so let's
I'm
go.
not working. I tune in.
I can catch it as well
Every
because
gaming
sometimes
stream.
I can catch it as well because sometimes it's early enough for me, but I don't stream under any sort of schedule really, so so it's just whenever. But I mean, we've got this now where we can get our heads together because it was nice to be able to talk to Joe and talk to Ken, and like I said, if I can, I jump onto Trey's as well. So cool stuff.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see us all just doing stuff. It's wicked.
Keeps
I
us all
agree
going.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to join you guys sometimes, but the life of a vampire. Most of the time, by the time you guys are doing your streams, I'm dead to the world. Just,
I'm just
wake
like
up
that.
and see it's like, oh, your boy creates. Your boy creates was live. David Roberts was live. Like, oh, damn it.
I feel lost.
4 or 5 hours.
I feel lost sometimes when I wake up. I wake up and it's like GunPla Idea Factory, 9+ new messages. I'm like, oh, okay. What have I missed?
I can imagine. Because you're 12 hours off from the East Coast, right, David? So it is literally night and day.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, David and I see a lot of the same messages at the same time, and it's like, Jesus,
That's
what
the
did we
nice
miss?
Yeah, that is the nice thing though. Right? Like there is some crossover with Trey's time. He seems to be pretty much an early bird, which is good because I'm a night owl and they sort of overlap a little bit. And then I also get to speak with Jake a lot. So if stuff seems a little bit weighted towards that side, it's only because we're sort of on the same time flap. Where's my head at?
That's what it is from now on. Time flap. Everybody cool with you referring to it as time flap?
Yep.
Oh man, do not make me laugh.
All adjourned. I'll say aye.
Don't make me laugh, please.
Well, fair enough.
And it's a cool thing that we're talking about personal projects. I know that we didn't get to see any current projects from you, Joe, but you are actually working on quite a few different things, right? So if you want to go ahead and expand, we're all yours.
Yeah. So current project, it's been on the back burner for a while. I'm still plugging away at it. So everyone has a daft amount of Gundams. We all do. Otherwise we won't be here. And basically, the idea is to bring Gundam to the tabletop. I know there's people who have already done this idea, but I'm not shitting on their ideas at all. Apologies for language. It's just that there's a lot of convoluted rules. So, like, you look at it, and I don't want people to meet up and be like, right, I've got this point set up, I've got, then you have to sit there and check each other's lists or whatever. Basically, the rule system I'm going for is X-Wing. Basically, I'm just going to be adapting the X-Wing rule set. Reason being, X-Wing, I could meet up with friends. We could chuck a 120-point game together on the fly and be like, playing, done. And 30 minutes later, you've already got like 4 or 5 turns deep. The movement system is organic. It's not like I'm going to watch where you're moving because I'm physically in my head. I'm going to go, oh, he can move 12 inches this way and he's going to move this to this objective. Whereas with turn dials in X-Wing, you turn your turn dials and you put it face down, and you'd be like, well, I don't know what he's doing. So he could then move, is he going left, is he going right, is he going to stop, is he going to come short, am I going to overshoot him and then end up in his firing arcs? It's like, it's a very organic, and you can create so many possibilities for like just random moments happening, like you'd see in the TV shows and like in all the fight scenes, you'd see just stuff come plowing through a wall and you'd be like, where the hell was that guy? Or in the unicorn scene with the Jagus fighting the what's he fighting? Is he fighting a Jagan in the city? And the Jagus shoots all the rockets at him and he grabs someone to block it. I know there's one where there's the Blyrant where he comes down and he grabs the it's a Zegok and ends up holding the Zegok up and shooting from behind the Zegok. I think it's a Zegok. I hope it's a Zegok. My memory
is the Hygog.
Yeah, and he just...
That sounds right.
He just that fight scene, I was like, I need to bring this to tabletop, and everyone's got high grades. You can point it up a lot easier, and you could have a 120-point game. 4 high grades on the field each. Done. Yeah, firing arcs, all that jazz. Obviously, the rules would be like, you'd have to have them on movement basis, and they'd be, it'd sort of sit them not this high up, but the feet would be on here, and if you wanted to have them crouching or whatever, then you'd say I'm taking a turn to crouch, all that jazz. But I'd have like a height limit so you can't just cheese it like everyone's laid down, So, but apart from that, I've got the O coming next week hopefully, so I'm super hyped about that. And aside from that, hopefully to reinvigorate getting back into Twitch and start streaming again. I'll jump in, shout everyone else out. I usually just sit and build and paint and talk shit, basically. And who we just lost? We just lost Cody. There he is.
Oh, he's
It was
coming
gonna
back.
shut off. I think it got overheated.
But yeah, So that I ramble on. So I apologise.
Not
I
at
talk
all,
far
not
too
at
much.
all. I mean, it's definitely a cool idea because, especially coming from Warhammer myself as well, which I think this is why this is why I've wanted Joe on for a long time because we both come from the same place. Um,
Quite
feel
frozen
less
in the
assaulted
UK.
by all the lore knowledge of you guys and. But yeah,
I think with
I think the idea of a
uh,
tabletop game is really cool. I have no idea how I could advise you as to how to go about it, other than I think it's a really cool idea, and just be careful of the hero suits. I think it's very hard to balance
oh yeah,
hero suits, whereas they
well
can either be very point heavy or either a little bit nerfed, a little bit weak. So there's definitely a balance to be had there where they're actually playable, or you can still play a game whilst fielding a hero without feeling like everything is just cannon fodder, basically.
well the way they do it in X-Wing is you can obviously only have one of each named like card, like a pilot card. So you'd have like Luke, Vader, Boba Fett, Chewie, Han Solo. But you could only have one instance of them, so you couldn't have Han Solo in the Falcon, then Han Solo was a passenger card in another ship. And you know for a fact if you chucked the Sazeby out and were like, oh, I've got Sharp Pilot in that, he's gonna get bombarded with fire because you know for a fact if you've got a grunt squad of like let's say 5 Jegans on the field and you've got like uh, Zooks, long range snipers. You could have like the big gun they use for capturing the Phoenix in NT. You're going to be like, I'm focusing the Sazeby down because he's going to create some problems. And then from that standpoint, as the Xeon player or the Neo Xeon player, you're going to be sat there going, well, I've got to play him smart because that's a big point sink. If he gets wiped out in one turn of shooting, then but games can hinge on that, like they do in 40k. You can have one round of shooting and just watch half your army just disappear and be like, cool. I love setting up for 2 hours and watching my army just get decimated in one turn of shooting. In this, it's going to be a lot more fluid, If you did lose a game in like 2 turns, oh no. Quickly edit your point list, check it out, and then you could be like, well, that big gun is now my priority. I know he's going to focus me down with that, so I'm going to try and get someone over as quick as I can. Tie it up, block its firing avenues. Everything works on the fly though. It's all going to be super organic. You're just going to be sat there throwing stuff on the field and going, right, where's he going to shoot? Because you can plan for his firing arc and be like, right, if that's his firing arc, if I can get out of his firing arc and he's moved before me, because the way an X-Wing works is you've got a number system that goes up and down. So for movement, you go lowest to highest, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And for shooting, you go top to bottom, so you go basically all the way down. So your higher skilled pilots will move last but shoot first, and then your lower skilled pilots are going to move first but shoot last. So it's a really weird balance, but it works because you don't just go, oh, I'm going to shoot all my guys. You bounce between the different factions in the shooting phase. So it's a nice balance. If you ever get a chance to see X-Wing, it's really worth just having a look at it. Obviously, V1 rules, V2, it just was like random bullshit go, and it was like, what the fuck, guys? It's like, why do you keep making more rules? So I was like, I'm sticking with V1.
I mean, fair enough. It does sound actually quite organic because the way you spoke about it makes a lot of sense that sort of a meta would kind of arise where there would be certain suits that some people would gravitate towards, like the unicorns, Turn A,
Yeah.
the Z, that sort of stuff, and then there would be counters. There would be like I know Trey used to play Yu-Gi-Oh as well. For every beatdown deck, there'd be a burn deck or
Yeah.
some sort of really spam horrible thing that everyone hates seeing, with locks and shutting down every sort of play. So I'm guessing a meta would sort of arise in that case where if you're seeing a lot of Turn A's or a lot of Z's or a lot of Kshatriyas or whatever, I'm guessing that there would be a lot
Your
of...
boxes. Cody, you've got a cat in the back.
Yeah, he's a little exploratory.
I was gonna say we're
Talking
gonna
about
get
organic.
introduction.
We just see a
went from
cat creep slowly across the screen.
right?
It's always the case. Cat stealing my thunder.
I'm sorry, buddy. I
No.
thought he would stay in the window.
The good thing about X-wing though is when it first dropped, I used to follow it quite a lot. I've got all the first wave stuff, like all up to Scum and Villainy, and basically the first championship that was held was actually won by a guy running a TIE Swarm. So it was just Vader and loads of TIE fighters, and it was such a weird combo to see. But at the same time, it was like he had more hull points on the field and more firepower. So it was like you dropped maybe 2 X-wings in one turn of shooting, you'd have like still 7+ guns staring back at you, and it was like that's terrifying. So you could have like 4 ships, he's got 9. So
Yeah.
you could run like a load of Zaku's or a load of GMs, and then someone's gonna be like, shit, I've got a lot of targets to deal with now, like a lot.
When you put those teams together, is it really dependent on? So when you're talking about like 4 versus 9, where's your cap? Like, is there a balance between? Well, this takes up like 2 slots in my team versus like
just-
1 slot sort of thing.
Just points. So
Points.
you
Oh,
could
okay.
say you got 120 points, and let's say a GM.
This is a lot like
costs you-
BattleTech then.
Yeah. So
Okay.
your ship cards, like your pilot cards, are what cost you the points. And for 120 points, I used to run. Well, I run 100-point games with my local scene. I used to always have 3 A wings and a U wing, and it was a super weird setup because a U wing would fly forward as a gunboat, and everyone would be like, "I'm going to try and kill that." It's like biggest target. 2 A wings would go on one side, and then I'd have a lone wolf who'd just go around, and because they all have the different skills and viabilities to work as a pair, to work as a solo, people ignore them. It's just a little A wing. It's not going to do much. Oh, but they can.
Never ignore the A-wing.
Yeah.
Tabletop or Battlefront, never ignore the A-wing.
Yep. It's like you could have like I know a Trey would probably run like it'd probably have like the unicorn sat there or the phoenix or the banshee in certain games. It'd run. You could have the different versions. You could have banshee on banshee to start with the claw and the beam cannon. You could have the different versions of the unicorns. You could have non-destroy mode, destroy mode. Red frame, green frame, they're going to have difference. You've got the big beam axes, you've got the different beam tonfers, you've got so many options. And you could be like, he's equipped this, and this. And then he could be like 50 points, and he's got enough for, like, say, 2 super stripped down or 3 stripped down Jegans as a support group. And like, there we go. Or do you take a Delta with you, like the one Riddy pilots? Do you take that Delta?
And Delta Chi, little silver bullet action. How you doing?
Yeah, exactly. I'd love to get. That's why I want to get myself a Neo Geo, just so then I could be like, oh, let's have a big fight. Bosh! I'm like, kill that. So
I'm stoked. I'm stoked. I'm with you on this.
so
Yeah, Joe.
yeah,
have you thought about incorporating like a super weapon, like Grips 2,
ooh,
like
Well, I do
like
like-
colony laser?
that would actually be interesting. Like, say every 2 turns it shoots, or every turn it shoots, but in a random like scatter dice direction. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, either that or something like how the what was it? Was it the Nahal Argama that had the high mega cannon
Yeah.
or the mega
yeah,
particle
sure.
cannon on the front
There's
of
one
it?
that gets shot in Unicorn as well. Is that the Grips cannon?
Oh, that was the
Shot
grips
in-
too, yeah.
Yeah,
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 it was Grips
Grips
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was Grips 2 at the
That
end.
was
of
the
it.
one that they gassed in Zeta.
Yeah. But you've got stuff like mobile armors, like the Boundock and the Nightingale and stuff, like just big units. Like you could throw it down, like, oh, this is going to be great, and then everyone's going to go, I'm going to kill that just because it's a big shiny unit. Ignore all the little grunts and be like, they're going to cause issues. So
Yeah, just
Right,
swarm it.
yeah, literally that's what it's going to be. It's just getting everything out of this silly dome of my head and just putting it all down and going right. Everything's
Yeah,
right
write
now.
it down for sure.
Yeah. So, but once it's working and going, I'm gonna. Well, obviously it's gonna be a bit hard for us all to play, but at the same time, I would love to just be able to send rules out and be like, please test it, give me feedback, and just go from there. But anyway,
Would
I
you keep
rambled on.
timeline only? So like keep it to UC if you're going to do those suits for balancing reasons, or you just like have like a format where it's just like free for all. You can have and different units.
Well, I'd keep it for UC to start with, and then obviously if people want to play Seed, there'll be a Seed set that obviously I'd probably pass the rules off to someone who's super knowledgeable at Seed. If it was something to do with um, like Gundam Wing, that's going to be another nightmare to power because it's like
Buster Rifle itself.
Yeah, exactly. You've got the Death Scythe, you've got the bloody heavy arms, you've got the I remember hearing
Yeah, a lot more
Ultron.
melee.
yeah,
And like a
you've
lot
got
more melee-oriented suits.
Yeah.
and then you've got Iron Blade Orphans, no beam weapons. That's going to be a nightmare. Like, okay, so we've got smoothbore rifles, you've got all the maces, you've got the crushing mace with the big chainsaw blades, then you've got all the grunt suits, you've got all the weapons, all the different types of the. There's just so many things to encompass, and then go balance it. And you're like,
Yeah, for sure.
And then the Hashimall shows up and it's game over.
yeah, it's like, oh great,
Oh.
it's like so
The
and
mobile
on
already.
top of it, so yeah, it's a lot to just sort of just pull out of my skull and to throw onto paper and go, this is what I want. And Bandai could easily, if they, hey guys, if you're listening, can easily just go, we could put the rules for every single unit in a box on like literally just like a card or like an insert, just like dump, done, and I throw the like a movement dial in. I'm like, done. Easiest way to incorporate into the game. So I'll start a set with, I'd say, a Zaku, 2 Zakus, and 1 RX. So that's what I'd do.
Right on.
David with a slow-mo walking back.
You guys got that too.
Yeah, you get a little bit of
Yeah.
a warning from the camera, and then it just.
Anyway, obviously waiting for David to come back. If he's coming back, hopefully he is. Cody, what projects you on, mate? With I've just rambled by. Sorry, I'm so sorry, guys. I talked too much.
No, it was interesting.
Oh,
That
dude,
was
you're
cool.
good. Actually,
That was
yeah,
pretty
very
sweet.
interesting.
It's-
No, it's interesting because my friends just got me into BattleTech, and shit, those games take forever. But I've been curious because I go to a local game store up here for my Magic players, Card Kingdom. Their local store is called Mox, but they also sell board games, and particularly they have a huge section for X-Wing, and just those models are super sweet. But if if the rule base is a lot simpler, it's a lot more fun to get into. And
Oh,
with
yeah.
things like, BattleTech and my friends are huge D&D fans, man, a lot of that stuff is just like the prep work is brutal. But,
Yeah.
if you can pick up a game pretty quickly, that'd be pretty sweet. I don't know how X-Wing compares to like BattleTech, but, it's fun to get into, for sure. I'm definitely
If you
excited to see it.
If you could pick up a starter set for X-Wing or ask for a demo game, you'll see the rule set and how simple it is. If you ask for V1, like just version 1, you'll see it and be like, wow, you can apply anything to X-Wing rule set and just be like,
Just change the name.
yeah, literally. Just
Sure.
like, X-Wing, no, Gundam UC, slap, done, finished. End
Yeah,
of.
the hard part's coming up with the stats, right?
Yeah, the stats are just, oh.
For sure.
Guys, sorry guys. Sorry for whatever happened with my camera there, but I managed to
No,
get
we were
back
vamping.
online.
That's what you call it in the biz. If something goes down, everybody vamp. You just gotta vamp.
But yeah, so back now, and at the same time, perhaps back on track. So yeah, it's definitely cool to see that your project's getting some legs there with the tabletop game. Do you want to plug what time your Twitch stream is, mate?
Usually my Twitch streams are on a Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I do 9 till 12 UK times.
Okay.
Usually they can run hella over though, like
Yeah,
and-
I've woke up in
Is
the
it 9
morning.
a.m. or 9 p.m.?
yeah, 12 in the morning, mate. But I will literally run straight over. I've done some daft streams.
There's some late night people on this stream.
Oh yeah, it's because I seem to end up pulling people from so everyone starts UK side and then it swaps over onto the American coasts and then the people wake up before work on the UK side. I'm like, why are you still streaming? I'm like, because I can't sleep.
We are nice people.
But yeah, around August I do 24 hours, not a 24-hour stream, a 12-hour stream. So that's going to be interesting.
God, wow. Crazy.
So we'll all be
All right,
jumping
Rooster
on
Teeth,
that.
calm down there now.
No shit.
We'll all be jumping on that, making your 12 hours go extra slow.
Oh yeah, trust me. It's you look at the time and then I look again. It's like 8 hours have passed. I'm like, oh wow, I haven't eaten. It's like,
Oh, and that's the hard part is making sure you eat, but that's what keeps you going.
Yep. Eating, always have a cup of tea. Always tea.
Always tea. Yeah, I'm missing mine at the
See, that's the
moment.
Brit side is like tea. Absolutely have tea. I was just gonna take a sip of my non-existent coffee.
I mean,
Gone.
mellow yellow.
Millie.
Come on now, guys. If we're not sponsored, don't be showing nothing.
Oh yeah, see, shit. I'm sorry, I showed the logo. Let me other side. There we go. Fancy.
There we go.
you
A nondescript
Blur it out.
yellow fluid.
Sorry if you had
Oh.
Not
to.
urine.
If you have to blur that out in post, David. Although we definitely shouted out Bandai and a whole bunch of other products.
I was
earlier,
going to
so-
say, and then my camera just like exploded. You know, like
Fuji.
if Bandai are listening, we are open to sponsors. There is a big gap at the start, the
Oh,
middle,
yes,
and the end
please.
of this show that would be perfect for a sponsorship.
We'll split
You
the
know-
50 cents 5 ways. Everybody gets a
Oh
dime.
yeah.
Every
know how the
week
conversion
could be
rate
a
goes for you
sponsored
guys.
build. I'm just saying. we are all poor and we will do anything. And yes, we are all poor because we're into gun now.
Yeah, it's money rich, but house poor is plastic poor.
Plastic poor, yeah. Plastic rich.
I build my forts out of boxes.
Ready for Ford kick-ass. You were going to say something there, Trey?
Yeah, we'll take payment in kits.
Yeah. I'm down for that. Preview kits.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Anything P Bandai if they want to run it through us first.
Oh, yes. Just, there's a 5 order maximum, right? And there's 5 people here, so just trying.
So please, I'll take a Ghost Gundam Bandai before you guys even put it out for anybody else. Please.
Swear, if anybody if they put out the Master Grade Phoenix narrative, I will cry. That's the last one of the Master Grades that I need. I'm doing a full Master Grade Unicorn whole thing before I move to the real grades. But as you can see, and
I think this
taking
is
a page from
is a-
David's playbook.
This is a perfect segue into our next bit.
Yes! Yes! I'm excited about segues. Going to the...
So we're going into Cody, and what have you got coming up, dude?
So
Talking of
like
unicorns.
upcoming projects, right? So we're doing a lot of water slides because I had just cranked through my first non-Gundam kit, non-Bandai kit. That's not true. It's my second. I finished a Kotobukiya. I tried out the Megami device. Pretty fun. That's interesting. But I had just finished it, right? And I finished that about a couple weeks ago. And then I did the Infinite Justice and sent that out. But kit-wise, I keep track of all my kits. I got a whole list down here. And I finally hit the big 5-0. I know you guys probably are like, 5-0, whatever. But 5-0, right? So I have a huge backlog, and I wanted to do something real special for my 50th kit, because Jeebus, in 2 years, 50 kits, I kind of cranked through it, right? So I put them out in the background. I'm going to put up a poll, and I know I've annoyed the shit out of David with this question. But I'm going to put out a poll, but I wanted to get you guys' opinion. Now, just a little bit of context. The reason why I have strictly unicorns and why unicorns are so special is I'm actually an architect by trade, licensed and everything. So that's my other current non-Gundam projects. Is I'm working on an Unreal environment actually for pull it off the wall for this guy. This is my senior project, my 4th year senior architecture studio project. I've been wanting to put this in VR for as long as I've graduated. And with Unreal 5, it should be really fun. It's going to be a new project.
Man, I'm gonna have to hit you up after the stream because I'm thinking about dabbling in Unreal, and I might be able to sort of steal a few pointers off you, man.
We're going to learn it together because I know jack shit. I'm a Rhino modeler first. I can Rhino, but now professionally I do Revit. So I can NURBS model till the end of it, but Unreal's going to be interesting.
Well, my friends,
so it should be fun.
my friend's done a few 3D environments, 3D sets in Unreal before, and he thinks it's epic. So
and with Unreal 5 from the SSD, man, I'm so stoked. So with the reason I bring up the architecture is that in order to get licensed, right, you have to take 6 exams. And in order to study for said 6 exams, I listened to Unicorn soundtrack nonstop. There's a playlist on Spotify that has all of the albums of Hiroyuki Sawano's work, including Gundam Narrative. And it was 4 hours, and I would go start to finish reading through my books. So I am locked on Unicorn. It's very special. I actually would listen to the music before to pump me up, and then after, because there's just perfect pieces, right? So Unicorn, super special. But then also, in order to study, I was listening to the other Gundam soundtracks, right? So Wano did Hathaway, which is just peachy, just fantastic. So that's why I put these up here. And of course, on my last test, I finished Char's Counterattack because I'm watching it in order. So there's a lot of timing things that are significant. So I figured 50th kit, let's do something cool. So what I've got out right now is I have 2 unicorns, the full armor and the Banshee Norn. I have already built the regular OVA unicorn, and I've already built the OVA Banshee. So I already have the experience with those 2. So in this case, it would be, which would be like the perfect for 50th kit, right? And then I've never built a new Gundam, that's true, or a Verka. So this would be like, all of these would be a first for me, except for maybe the Kasai and Penelope. But I think a double feature for 50 is pretty sick, because it'd be like 50, 51, but also, yeah. So anywho, if anybody has any suggestions or opinions, I am all ears and open. I like to also keep I save the best for last sort of thing, which is ironic because I just built a bunch of these Witch from Mercury kits, and it's pretty much ruined any high grade for me. Unless it's like Primo, like the Moon Gundam, or like I'm super stoked for these 2 and the Messer for sure, which are also in the backlog. But I just can't decide what to do for 50. After that, I'm going full seed. But yeah, these 4 are just right there. So it's holding me up from starting the next kit.
Personal opinion, do the Zai and the Penelope, because that missile effect kit is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. It looks so good. I regret that's one of the kits that when Halfway dropped, that came up for pre-order. I didn't pre-order it. Kicked myself profusely because I saw it and was like, it's a bit expensive, 100 quid something for a kit. I don't want that. Watched Halfway's Flash on Netflix and was like, ugh.
Oh,
give me that kit. And it went like that. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, all right, that's the last thing I need. That was the one thing that tipped me and was like, right, from now on, pre-order everything. And I've built the Zai, I've built the Messer and painted it, and they are crispy. Like, the Zai is just big, chunky. Its hands are huge. It feels solid. The Penelope still haven't built it. She's sat down here somewhere in my backlog. But the Messer as well. For a grunt suit, it towers over
that
everything.
Messer looks so pretty.
But yeah, so for my choice, my vote is definitely that missile effect set of the Zai and Penelope, because I want to see.
Well, would you do the Zai first or the Penelope? So
if I bought that kit again, I'd do the Penelope because it has 2 forms. So you've got the actual flight unit and the actual Gundam.
And then the Odysseus Gundam.
Yeah, that's it, the Odysseus, yeah. Mm-hmm. So then you could take pictures of them both and then put the flight unit on it, and then you've got the Zai to build, and then you've got, Yeah.
And I have hologram decals for those 2 that I'm super stoked for. That would be part of it for sure.
So that's definitely got my vote. So I'll shut up now because I will rabble on. So.
And I don't know if I mentioned, I actually bought that for my birthday. So I actually finished my last test, and then that was 3 days before my birthday. And that was the goal, right? Was to get it all done. And so I bought that from my local shop. A little bit overpriced, but I bought it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yes.
Reward yourself, man.
That's what it is. I bought that and the heavy arms, and they're like, you get this big kit, and a little heavy arms high grade to go with it. Like, yes.
I agree with Joe for the Penelope and the Kasai, but for different reasons. My reasoning is because you've already said you built the OVA Unicorn and Banshee, and for the research that I did for Project Chimera, because it's basically the four unicorn kits, Unicorn Banshee, the Verka Unicorn, and the Phoenix. They're you'd be essentially building the same thing over again. So for variety's sake, I would go with the Kasai and Penelope.
For sure. For sure.
Don't get me wrong, they're amazing kits. Like you guys know me, you see for days. But for variety, I would say the Kasai and Penelope.
Righteous. Jake, do you have a vote?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the new Gundam Katoki because it is. Yeah. That was the very first kit that I built back in 2014 when I started building again.
Yeah.
And even now, you open it and look at it, and it's just like, damn, this thing, it still competes with modern master grades.
Sick. And I have the real grades in there, and I wasn't sure which to build first, master grade or real grade.
Which one's the biggest Katoki that's out now? It's probably between the Zeta. Well, no, I was thinking like the modern ones or the more recent ones. Okay. It's probably the double Zeta, right?
Double Zeta's pretty big. Same with the Faz. You have the Faz Verka, and that's a little bit bigger. And that's double Zeta, but just bigger.
I want to say that the new Gundam can compete with the Faz and the double Zeta. Still, for being, sick. Even though it's... Lord, when was it released? I'm trying to think.
2009 or 2007. I just looked at it recently.
Was it 2009?
Yeah, it's a little bit earlier. I was
going to say, because still, being like almost 20 years old, or getting close to being 20 years old, it's insanely good.
I was way off. This is December 2012.
Oh wow!
Yep. The unicorn was like 2010, or the OVA was a bit like earlier than that. But yeah, 2012 for that one. Sick.
Yeah, that's just like I made the story post about the MG 3.0 yesterday. It's that and the new Katoki are two kits that I think everybody needs to build.
Sick. Yeah, those are going to go on the list for sure. And then David, I think I remember what you told me last time. Do you still stick with it, or you think it's something else?
I said it as a bit of a joke, really, because because of what it is. But I haven't built any of those, so mine's purely out of speculation. I do have the new and the full armor in my own backlog, and I've seen a very nice version of the new up close in the Bangkok Gundam base, which is one of the things that really put me on to Vercars. I just think the silhouette and that face, it just looks mean. It looks mean in a way that like 78s just do not. So, I think that I agree a lot with what Jake said there about having seen it finished. Not about the build, but having seen it finished. I think it would definitely be a showpiece. But I think I'm gonna stick with my first one. I think you should do your unicorn, man. I think you should do your full armor. I think that it's gonna be a challenge, definitely. But I think for what you're going for and sort of where the vibes are at, I think that it sort of holds everything that you've sort of done already. What's that word, man?
Encompassed. You nailed it.
Yeah, man. It's got everything and more. And I think that placing that up on your shelf with your other unicorns and your Banshee and your Shinanju, I think that's going to give you a lot of satisfaction.
Right. Yeah, that's the other thing you guys haven't seen. David's seen. I have a wall of master grades that are built right up here, and prominently is the unicorn that I've posted, and then the Shinanju, which I think I posted, but not posed up. So yeah, it's all there. So I got a whole unicorn thing, a whole vibe going in my office.
Yeah, man. So, especially
the only thing I'm going to chime in with on that is for the full armor, keep that super glue handy.
Yeah. A lot of
because
small
it is.
pieces fall apart.
Well,
could,
that and yeah, Trey can back me up on this one. It's
Oh,
got
wow.
a lot more than it can handle going on.
Yeah, it's pretty
When they,
heavy. That's the one thing I've heard.
yeah, when they
Yeah,
say grenade, they're kind of lowballing it. At least when you have all grenade is lowballing
yeah,
it.
it's yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
I'm
the
gonna try to sell
transformation's
the
pretty
new.
rough on it too.
I'm gonna try to sell the new Katoki a little bit more. It can take an LED for the head.
That's sick. Yeah, and I have a few of those back up for the Jesta. I bought a third party. Those are really nice. I like those. I like that you can throw
Yeah,
those little LED units.
don't demonetize this Bandai, but the Bandai LEDs, yeah,
Good butt.
not great, not great,
Yeah,
not great. Go third party.
yeah. This I got a 5-pack for the price of a single Bandai LED, and the
Oh
switches
yeah,
work just fine. But it looks like they just stole the mold.
yeah, yeah. Because I've got
I
some
think it
third
even
party
says
ones that I used
Bandai
to
plotted on
use.
it. Yeah.
I've got some third party ones that I used to use for the double O kits, and they are identical. They just
Yeah.
don't have. Like, I think they've got MG stamped on the back of them
Yeah, that's it. That's
instead of
exactly
Bandai. Yeah.
it. Yeah, got a bunch of reds for my Jesta, but I'm definitely buying packs of those because you can get like 5 on Amazon for some stupid low price. Right?
That and there are some now. I've got the metal frame for the Exia, third party metal frame,
Yeah,
and
you
they
guys
do
were
some
showing
that
me
have
that.
they have some that are the chip LEDs, which are really cool. Like you can hit it with a little magnet.
That is
Like
sick.
yeah, just one of these little magnets, and it literally will kick on off all that
For
cool
sure.
stuff.
For sure. Yeah, that's what I did with my unicorn and Sinanju hands was I put magnets in them too. So I got like a boatload of 3mm and 1mm magnets.
Right,
Just for
guys.
That's a cool idea.
Sorry to interrupt
Yeah, let's
you
move
all,
it along.
but
You're
we've
good.
Yeah.
just hit the hour and a half mark. With that in
Has
mind,
it already been an hour and a half?
hour and a
Jesus.
half mark, we've just hit it. So with that in mind, I think if we could just go over the news and then perhaps end it there for today, I would like that unless any of you are adverse to it. But I think if we could just quickly
No,
go
that's
over
cool,
the
man.
news, we can do our new segment that Jake's been dying to rename and do. But we'll go through that when we come to it. I'm not an expert at anything that's sort of come out recently. I guess I know as much as anyone who's built all the Witch from Mercury stuff, how nice the new Witch from Mercury kits are going to be. But as far as the actual Gundam news, with what we want to hit really is that Requiem for Vengeance trailer that's come out. And I
Oh
think
yeah.
I think that you guys probably know more than me regarding where in the timeline that fits. All I know is that Zack looks really cool. I think that the
Yep.
Gundam perhaps maybe they want to go through a redesign on that one.
Yeah,
I
I don't know what they were thinking with that one. It looks like to me it looks like they tried to fuse a gun cannon and a Gundam, like a ground type Gundam.
to
Yeah.
me, it looks like something Michael Bay would design, something out of a new Transformers movie. Personally, pick any of them, Bumblebee, Optimus. It looks like that with the
Oh,
really round
Jesus.
eyes and the separated mouthpiece.
Gundam Tron.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Wrong franchise. Get out.
I'm sorry. My name is Grandpa Gundam.
Sounds like it, but I will say when I saw the trailer, I was like, "Is this a game to start with?" And they're like, "It's modeled in Unreal 5." I was like,
Did that too.
if you can model this in Unreal 5 like that, where's our game? Give us an open world Gundam game, please, please, Bandai. Just sorry, I want another open world Gundam game. I need a big one, like so.
Well, they just did One Piece.
Yeah, Bandai did, and I've heard that's nothing but good things about that. They've got what other games are coming out from Bandai? Obviously, like you said earlier about Armored Core, that's coming out. That's got a load of hype around it. Just jump on the mecha bandwagon. Oh hey, Gundam game, you know, new one. Not
which would be-
SD. SD was good. I loved it, but give me a UC timeline game.
Yeah.
Just do us
If
a
they don't
Dynasty
do-
Warriors Gundam game in Unreal 5.
Yeah.
would
I'd take
rather
another one.
Yes, Frank.
Like I settle for Dynasty Warriors Gundam 4. Like I'd settle for that at least if they don't go full open world.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you guys know when Requiem's supposed to take place in the timeline?
It's
1 Year war.
yeah.
Well, okay, so it
War,
is 1 year. Okay.
79.
Yep, we're
I
going back
believe.
to the 1 Year war again.
So
Which
more
is
Warcraft.
fine,
That
because
dead
there's
pony.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say there's always more that you can explore for the
Sure.
1 Year war. I know people hate it, but I'm glad to see it because it's
I think with the 1 Year war. Sorry to cut you off, Jake. I think there's
oh no, it's good.
we always hear about conflicts from other side characters talking about it, and like in Thunderbolt, they talk about how the White Devil from what is it? Basically referencing Amuro. And I know they're meant to be split off or whatever, but because they're like, oh yeah, it's referencing that because they talk about it how it's performing well on that front. So they ship a Gundam there, and then the Xeon Force like, oh, it's that Gundam. I'm like, oh, and I was like, it's just another one. And then you've got all these different characters, protagonists, and different. You'll hear like, oh, how are we performing that battlefront? Oh, we're not doing so great. We're losing forces. People having to pull back. You've got like, just everything is there. They're just trying to go. We can use that story, this story, that story, and it just keeps expanding. Or we sit there and go, can we see the kits, please? Because that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting just to see the kits when they show up and be like, pre-order. Where are they going? Onto the backlog.
Onto the back.
Oh,
onto
I'm pretty
the
sure
shelf.
we're gonna.
Not
I'm
onto
pretty
the
sure we're
shelf,
gonna
just
get
onto
two
the
P
back.
Bandai kits.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be
That Zaku, yeah, that Zaku and the Gundam will be P Bandai, no doubt. But
that wasn't P Bandai.
I was gonna
think,
say
what
go
was
the way
it?
of Kukuru.
Yeah,
yeah,
because you can get that on your P Bandai at the moment. You can get
that's
the
what it was. I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of the old ones that they did, but MS Igloo. Does
Yep.
anybody?
I haven't been meaning to watch
Joe,
that. I
you-
have not.
Joe, you know what I'm talking about. Is it just me, or did you get MS Igloo vibes?
When you see it all obviously rewind, and then you see the Zaku, it all starts up. You see the fingers flex everything. I went, that looks so much like Igloo, like
Yeah.
ridiculous. When you see, I was like,
At first, before they said, Requiem for Vengeance, I was thinking, are we going to get MS Igloo 3? Is
Yeah.
that what this is?
so that's what my brain did. I was sort of like, is this more Igloo? I was like,
Because
what?
that
And
one
it
was
like,
full CG too, right? Igloo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder
Yeah,
if it's
those
in the
were
same vein.
early. Those are very early. What was it? Early 2000s? Late
Yeah,
90s,
mid-aughts.
early
Yeah.
2000s CGI?
Yeah.
they'll have to do a nod to it. There will have to be a nod to it. Like, I think there's going to be something they'll do. They'll nod to something, and
We'll see. We'll see a Hidolfer.
Yeah. If it,
The
I
Hidolfer
still
will
need that
show
kit.
up.
I still need that kit. It's bugging me. I need it. I need that big boy.
All right,
But,
Cody, Trey, David, y'all got anything to add? Me and Joe have just
Yeah.
kind of run off with this one.
Yeah.
I'm really not that
Not
versed
really.
in where it's
Yeah,
at.
same.
I just like the Zaku design. I think the Zaku design's cool. The Gundam design, I could leave it where it is, but if it comes as a pair, I'm getting one to pose up against that Zaku.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm
Yeah.
at with it from what I've seen that little trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mia, I got something to say about the Seed movie. That's the trailer for that.
Is
Let's
that
talk-
a
let's talk about-
a
let's talk about
recompilation? What is this
No.
movie? Is it like how they did the other movies? Are they just recutting it, or is this an add-on? What is it?
So, from what I understood, it's kind of like Awakening of the Trailblazer, how it's supposed to kind of like round out the story of Seed and Destiny. So, it's okay. I'm not 100% sure if it's gonna rehash some like old events and like old footage from the series, or if it's just gonna be completely new stuff. But if the way my mind is kind of ticking with how it is, I think they might follow the 00 route. And has everyone seen Awakening of the Trailblazer here?
I haven't, but I'm about
Oh,
to.
yeah.
I probably will today. Now that we're talking about it.
Deal with you.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
So,
it's It's controversial.
Yeah, so
From what I've
I'm
heard,
not gonna.
yes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it because you guys haven't seen it yet. But they might go the same route as Awakening of the Trailblazer. Not
Okay.
not just in terms of story, how it's kind of wrapping up the entire series, but with some certain elements that they're adding to this series. So that's all I'm gonna say without the.
I can feel it.
But
Yeah, I think I know what you're referring to, and they're in the same
yeah,
vein. I think
yeah. So I'm not 100% sure, but that's the vibe I'm getting from that. So
I'll be
I'm
down
really
with that
looking
because I
forward.
don't want another plot rehash like Destiny. I didn't hate Destiny, but
Yeah,
like 50 episodes to do the same plot again. I mean, the early colony drop thing, that was sick. But then
yes.
it felt samey there for a while until the Atherin fight or the Shin fight at the end when he finally got to Destiny. I was like, okay, this is sick. Like we're back on
Yeah,
it.
I agree with you wholeheartedly on that because it was pretty much like the same story, just like you have Seed from the side of the Federation, and then you have Destiny from the side of
This would
Zapped. You
be
know,
yeah, and then a little bit of Orb, but
Ex-
I like that
exactly.
he
Just
was
like,
mad at Orb, and I wanted to see more of that. Sorry, there's a car horn. Hopefully that wasn't too loud.
but yeah, no, that's all I have to say about the Seed trailer without spoiling too much for those who haven't
I
seen
haven't
that
even
before.
seen
What's
the. I haven't
funny?
even seen the
They
trailer.
haven't seen the
Never
trailer.
mind the stuff
It's
you've
kind
been
of annoying.
referencing.
It looks like they show was it? It's Kira and it's Lacus, and they're on the cliff, and that's from the original series, right? That's a throwback to them
Yeah.
talking the umpteenth million time on the sunset on that damn cliff. Which okay, beautiful. Definitely an early aughts thing for sure because you don't see that happen as much anymore. If you do, you
Yeah.
kind of save it for the end. But yeah, so part of me was like, this is this more like a new translation with Zeta, where they're recompiling it and cutting it together and adding new footage, or is it taking place after the fact? And I couldn't tell, and I hadn't looked it up yet, so I was just curious. I'm hoping it's after the fact. I don't need to see a recomp movie. I watched the damn series. I don't need to see it again.
From my understanding, it's supposed to be like a continuation. So,
So
but
that
again,
makes
we
me
have to wait.
happy.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
that's all I got.
So, if that's it for the news, I mean, there is one big glaring omission in the news, which I do want to touch on in a non-spoiler way, which is the finale of Witch from Mercury. I mean, that doesn't happen every day that, a Gundam series ties up like that, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
You want to keep going, David? I'm sorry, I jumped.
No, that's pretty much where I'm at with it. I mean, it was cool in the past 2 or 3 episodes to see the pair of Gundams. I mean, that's no spoiler. Everyone's seen the promo artwork for Schwarzette and
the
Caliban.
Schwarz and the Caliban.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
give
the
me
kits
that
too.
broom.
both of
Yeah.
them look really, really nice. I mean, only one of
Yeah.
them looks really, really, really nice. As we all know, that's the Schwarzette.
I wonder what's your favorite. Which one are you looking at, David?
Oh, you know, the Schwarzette.
Random.
David is not saying anything wrong. David is right on where he needs to be.
We're correct.
You go right ahead.
We're correct.
What's fun, I was kind of at first I was torn because I loved they hyped up the Schwarzette early on because they showed it like previewed it at the end of season
Yeah.
1. They dropped it and we're like, hey, this is coming up. And then there's this unnamed one, and now we know it's the Caliban. But I'm still pretty equally hyped. I think about both, especially now seeing that they have, how they had, was it the permet effects, like the Lifrith
Yeah.
and the Aerial,
Yeah.
right? But then now it's not just orange. So it just, those effect parts are so gorgeous. I can't imagine using the black stickers by itself. I can see why you would, but for me, hell to the fuck no. You're gonna get the nice shiny permit activated parts, and then with Schwarzette and Caliban, oh shoot.
Well, I tell you what, when they finally make them 1/100s, because the difference
Oh.
between Aerial
David, you can't
and
do this to
Aerial
me.
1/100 is night and day, because those pieces...
My wallet, you didn't see it. It got up and ran away. It got up and ran away.
Are you sure your cat didn't take it?
Well, when they decide to do the Schwarzette 1/100, then I'll consider it.
Yeah.
Maybe the
Random-
Caliban.
It has
Go
to
ahead.
be
Yeah,
the master, not a full mechanics though.
So I was
No
going to
disrespect
ask
to full-
because the aerial has full mechanics. Would we
Man.
expect a master grade?
Man, the full mechanics, don't be scared away by that name. It's an epic kit. I showed it off in the last podcast, and it's really cool. I mean,
You did.
it survived a drop on the floor. If you guys remember.
Yeah.
But no, it's
Joe,
it
you had something,
hands
I think.
there. Yeah, sorry, man.
yeah. So no, it's all right. So random tangent about the pilot of Schwarzer. Is that Guil? Because
This is
I'm
No.
still yet to catch up.
Oh,
No, you're
No.
going to want to
It's-
watch
it's-
it.
Well,
it's
yeah,
real,
spoiler
Spider-Man.
free. It's
Spider-Man.
not well.
It's like, yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's
It's
just
not who
complete-
you think it is. That's the part that
Oh, it's
Oh,
what
wow.
I think has thrown everybody, is that it's not who you think it is.
the screen
All
time.
right,
But
I'm
it's-
gonna.
The screen time
Well,
that machine gets makes it.
When
like,
when you watch it, you'll figure out. Oh, it's gonna be this person.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
super
that makes
hyped now.
sense. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed that it wasn't Gwell.
really?
Did
Yeah.
did you guys
A little
as well
bit,
see
yeah.
the P Bandai for the Loof Riff with like that big hand?
I want to try and
Oh,
get my
they live
hands
for
on
two.
that. I want to try and
Yeah,
get my hands on
because
that.
I think Ken's managed to secure me and him a pre-order for that, but oh my god, I saw that and was like, please do not tell me this is a P Bandai kit. P Bandai, I was like,
That's in the manga, right? Because that doesn't show up in the series at all.
Yeah.
That has to have been a side project.
yeah, but
It's,
I can't wait to get
well,
I
it.
think it's a novel.
What's the
I
manga
think it's
called,
a
David?
short- I don't know, but I think it's like a short novel, if I remember rightly, like a
Yeah.
light novel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
interesting.
the
Looks cool.
this-
I
talk
mean,
about P
deliberate.
Bandai though, the side kits. I want the FF Sazabe. If either of you guys have seen that.
Yeah.
I have the FF new, and I'm fighting myself to not spend the money
Yeah.
on that one.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think the
that's
grades.
me.
Yeah.
But back to
For
the
sure.
witch thing. It just
Yeah, that's the way.
Am I the only one that keeps wanting to call the Caliban the Caliban?
Oh, I
Yeah,
just
what
It's
based
it's
off
based
of?
on that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
it's based on Shakespeare's The Tempest, and his name is Caliban, but they
Yeah.
changed it to Calibarn so that way it wasn't like too much. I
Prosperity.
think Caliban actually sounds better because Calibarn, all I can hear is.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm a
I do
little
like the-
confused.
I do like the
Yeah.
aesthetic that they gave it of, its beam cannon is basically a broomstick. Like
Yeah,
that's
well,
cool.
Yeah, how often do they lean into something so obvious thematic? They are like witches. It's all about witches. They call all these people witches. Literally at the end,
give 'em a
Gundam
broom.
shows up in a damn broomstick, and it doesn't suck. Like wow,
Well,
how do you
doesn't suck
lean into
is-
something? I know, but I mean, like when you watch it when
Man,
it's animated,
I'm
and the way it
underwhelmed.
comes in,
I'm
you're like,
underwhelmed by that dude. I
Yeah,
was really
okay.
Like this, like that's what I was just trying to say earlier. The screen time that Schwarzette gets makes it, in my opinion. Like the fact that it does cool stuff. It's got some cool keyframes. It
Yeah.
does some
Yeah.
real wicked poses with that sword. And it gets
Yeah.
put through its paces. That makes it a cool suit. Whereas
sure.
Caliban kind of comes in, does the Gundam thing, and then woohoo.
yeah, it
It's-
sweeps for sure. I wonder if
So,
that
Cody,
was
here's,
definitely in the screenplay.
Here's one for you, Cody. Since
Sure.
you've seen it and you've seen Unicorn, I know David hasn't. How quote me on this? Was Unicorn and the Witch finale? How much of it did you see reflected?
Oh, it is absolutely a callback. It is
Yeah.
100% making reference to that. I mean, there's a few elements in each of the different series I think they tried to pull from that were
Yeah.
like, oh, this is what's making it modern. But yeah, no, that
Oh.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Unicorn did it better, which is weird because
Oh, yeah.
they only had 7 episodes, but because they were long OVAs, things felt fleshed out, and that I think it kind of earned it. I don't know. I think the only thing that annoys me is that I don't think that 24-minute episode earned that kind of finale quite possibly. I think we're missing at least 3 episodes in that series. I think we could have
I'll
gotten
agree.
3 more. I don't know if it needs to be longer. I don't need no 50 episodes of talking over the same damn thing over and over. I think it was nice and sweet, but I think there was too much focus on one thing and not enough for the rest. I think that's just an overall statement for the series. But yeah, I liked it. I think the
There
music
were,
in the moment, I a little bit. I was like, yeah, let's go. And
There were a couple of specific moments that I'm sitting there watching it going, am I watching Unicorn again? What the?
yeah, it's exactly it. I think there's a glowing ring in there
hold
too.
up. No, yeah, like, they did that with the Unicorn. Whoa, okay. This
Yeah,
is where we're
for
going
sure.
now.
For sure.
I'm
It's just there's no interpretation that this thing is going on anymore in the way that it's like ended. They ended it. And they told you at the end, it's over. It's like, well, fuck.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like there's some things that could have been touched on like a bit more, like could have been further like explained. But I don't know if it was just me, but I feel like it felt rushed. Like
Yeah.
that, just that last episode. Like
They could have honestly, I think it would have earned it if there was actually more of like an in-between season. I think that the early part of season 2 really suffers from really wanting that to be in 2 parts, especially
Yeah.
Gel's arc.
Yeah.
Gel's
Well,
arc
either that
on
or-
the
Hard agree.
planet.
Yeah, either that or it needs like an OVA movie to wrap it up.
Absolutely. But the thing is, it's like that would take place after the fact or during. And one thing I struggle with, especially because like you see, we were talking about this earlier with Requiem. It's like you tell a story in between. Now you have to make sure your continuity's right. You got to make sure, and Star Wars does the same thing too. And it's like, I mean, was that really worth doing? I mean, yeah, some of the story was cool, but then the extra, did it fit in? Like I love Mando, but I think parts of Obi-Wan could have just been the movie like they had planned. Not to get too far into another tangent because we could probably do that for days. But, so that's where I'm a little concerned with Witch from Mercury because I think if you were to do an OVA, it should absolutely be the side of the Earth because that was the part I was most hyped up on.
Yes.
The politics of what's happening on the ground. And how far are you in, Joe? Like, how far, have you watched any of it?
not season 2 yet. I've watched all of season 1, and then right at the end, obviously, you see that guy get tomato sauced. So
Oh, okay. So you've seen season 1. So
yeah,
there's
all of
that
it.
conflict on Earth, and there's the space versus Earth. Except now space are the assholes, which that was cool. And corporate things taking over things when really it should be run, but corporations are actually the government. Like, holy shit, could that be more relevant? But like seeing they try to tell you a bit more. They try to show you as halfway between season 2 what's happening on Earth and why that's relevant and why that's
Such a
impactful.
high point. Such a high point.
But then that's it until the very end where they show who is the guy Olcott. They show Olcott in a brief thing. And it's like, well, wait, what were they doing on the ground? How does Earth come into this? I got spoiled by Seed, where they had 3 factions fighting each other at the very end, and the ending. I'm not going to say what's in the ending because that was also kind of frustrating. It's like, where did that come from? We had to have it because it's Gundam, but what is happening on Earth and how do they relate to what's happening? Not just like, oh, we made up nice in the finale, yay! And it just didn't feel earned, or they just felt like side characters.
think the
It
one
felt a
thing-
little earned. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Joe.
No, the only one thing I'm waiting for is when the Caliban kit drops, who is going to be the first person to put a witch's hat on that kit?
Shit, it's not out yet.
It's-
People are doing that already.
I need to see someone put a witch's hat on it and have a random.
My buddy's got a 3D printer. I'll hit him up,
So,
and I'm gonna do a
There's
magnet
gonna be-
so that way it just
There's
goes.
going to be
shunk.
somebody.
Well, if we're talking,
Somebody will make a 3D printed witch's hat for it.
yeah.
If we're talking Shakespeare, then we all know what the witches in Macbeth are famous for, don't we?
Yeah.
I'm actually very uneducated in that regard.
Lord.
What is that?
Let's put it this way: in the play, the witches lift their skirts, and you don't see what you're expecting to see.
Well, I'll be damned.
Yeah.
They got their own broomsticks. Understood.
I mean, that would be a cool concept, though. You could push the timeline further, just hypothetically, just quick tangent. Push the timeline super far, give the Caliban a bit more of a damaged look, like the crossbow, with the the robe, with the broom and stuff, like the cannon. That looked cool. Like just sort of stood there, tattered robes, maybe like sort of a Megatron vibe with like the hood up or
Oh, the
something.
Exia Repair 3 going on?
Yeah,
There
something
you
like
go.
Yeah.
More
that
like
looked
Halo
cool.
4 Master Chief, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
man, that
I
was
mean,
such
you
a
can
Come
real
out with
look,
the
dude.
cloak on.
That was
mush all this
sick.
together.
Oh, I wish I had seen more of that. That was cool.
Well, Joe, on that note, I think you need to go ahead and binge through season 2.
Oh, trust
Absolutely.
me, I'm gonna. When I saw Schwartz first time, I was like, it's basically guts, but in Gundam. I was like, oh, I'm interested. And then like
Man.
now I saw with all the funnels and the gun bits, well, the gun bits all come. I was sort of like, it's like, yes, I've got that kit. And I was like, I need
I'm
another
just
one.
happy that it comes with the shield for the bits, and you don't have to have the other kits to do it. It actually comes with it. That's
Yeah.
primo. That could have been an add-on piece like the Marisol unit, but they decided to put it in. That's choice. That is nice.
Yeah, the mirror soul to get that just for the hand for me for the aerial rebuild was a
Yeah, to
pain.
make tomato
Yeah.
sauce with.
Wait, so the aerial rebuild also doesn't have the expressive hands,
Yeah.
only the Marisol unit?
So it's a bit weird.
Thank God I have the Marisol unit. I mean, it's like $8, but still,
Oh,
like, come
it's
on.
worth it. You can stick it to whatever unit you want. So
Yeah.
David, on
Sure.
the note of kits, did you see where I sent the picture of somebody who had the Schwarzette that did what I wanted to do?
Yes,
And
yes.
put
With the
two of
extra-
the Buster Swords on
Yeah.
it to give
Did
it
you
the
see
full
somebody
cloak
put 4?
effect.
what?
Somebody took it and put 4. They took 4.
Yep,
from
somebody
it,
got
just-
2 of them, and they gave it the full cloak of having
Yeah.
2 Buster Swords.
And it also looks like the age effects with all the
Yep.
green bits coming out. Yeah.
That sounds
What?
awesome.
I'm
Yep.
actually a fan of like the asymmetrical look of the one wing, but
Agreed.
we all
It's like
know why.
Sephiroth.
We all
Yeah.
know why that is.
I mean, it looks good, yeah. And then there's the other one that I posted. I think it's in my story, or I might have put it in the group where somebody took the one Buster Sword and put 4 of them up in an X. So I'm sitting there looking at it, going, "Take the Calibarn's little rail cannon or beam cannon, and you got yourself a discount Turn X, or not Turn X, but Gundam X."
Yeah.
Saying that though, with my the new Gundam, yeah, the new Gundam. It's the high grade. He's just got 3 fin funnels either side. Because he kept on his stand, he kept trying to lean over. I was like, symmetry, but it looks cool.
Oh, the expansion parts they sell in P Bandai for the real grade. They also come with all the effects. So if you didn't get the effect set, you can actually pretty much piecemeal it. So you get the regular real grade kit, and then you can get it has the Amuro red stand, and it
Yeah.
has the funnel, like all the extra effects. Super cool. And then you can make it symmetrical, which definitely doing for sure.
Oh, nice.
Trey, you've been awfully quiet down there. You want to add anything?
Yeah, man.
I don't, man. You guys are pretty much like hitting everything on the head, man. I'm gonna say something, but then Cody says that. I'm about to say something, then you say it, Jake. I'm about to say something, then Joe take.
I'm sorry.
Dude, jump in. I talk too much for my own good, so.
I think next time
No.
round, Trey, maybe you should take the helm. Maybe you should take the helm over,
Yeah,
and
I'll
I
just
can
shut
sit
up.
back and relax.
For the game special.
For the game special. Okay, man.
Yeah,
I got a lot to talk
on
about
that
on that
one-
one, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on that one, I'll be in your spot, Trey, and I'll just be sitting here going,
Dude, same. Dude, same.
Anyway, dudes,
Well-
I think let's wrap it up on something that me and Jake have been mulling over. And I know he doesn't want to name it this, but I do. I think it's cooler. And quite frankly, I'm the one saying it. So.
"What? Wait, what? What are we naming?"
Snap, paint, or pass.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's finish up
I
on the
dig it.
high note. Snap, paint, or pass. So, everyone knows the concept of the fuck, marry, kill, but this is Gundam, and this is a PG-13 show. We don't say words like
Yes,
fuck
we
or kill.
we'll get one.
Get one. Drop the one F bomb.
Gonna have to go through and bleep it later. Beep, everywhere.
Definitely commit war crimes on a daily basis. We're building your kits, so.
Exactly.
Man, sensitive doesn't exist on my channel. Anyway, pretty cool segue. We're talking Schwarzette and Caliban. Let's do them as a pair. Schwarzette and Caliban. How are we looking? Let's go the other way around this time, is it? So, Cody, Schwarzette, Caliban.
Oh, Schwarzette Caliban. So if I'm gonna, do I have to choose snap paint or like I
Yeah.
can't double up? So both. Okay, okay. In this case,
No, you can double up.
I'm definitely
I just think it's worth talking about the two together because they sort of fit together.
sure. So I don't paint, but I will supplant that with water slides, going ham. Maybe add some custom paint markers because I've done that, especially with my A-man kits. So that will be my context. Absolutely, at bare minimum, snap for both of them. Shorzette will absolutely with those stickers and with the sword, the Buster sword, and adding those extra details. That's getting chrome. That's getting all the extra details for sure. So that one's I'm gonna get both. But I think the Shorzette's gonna get a little bit more love.
Cool stuff.
Ding, one for the Shorzette.
Yeah.
So Joe, how are you looking?
Well, I'm a sucker for painting, and all my Witch from Mercury kits so far have all had paint chucked at them. Ironically, I'm going to go the other end of the scale. The Caliban is probably going to get a lot more love. I love its design. I love the aesthetics. I love the broom being a big giant mega cannon. I was like,
Yeah,
but
that's
either
fire.
way, but both are getting paint chucked at them, and I honestly, they're going to be super like, they're going to be the kits that make me burn through this Witch from Mercury backlog to get them get them done
Get 'em
and out
on
of
the
the way. So
docket.
yeah, definitely snap and paint. No pass for me on them. They're crispy.
Nice.
Mr.
Trey?
MG next. Mr. MG. MG.
Mr.
or down.
MG, little Chizzy Sauce.
Yeah, for your boy, I'm gonna go with Snap for the Schwarzette and the Caliban. Simply because I haven't touched any of the other I was gonna say MG kits, any of the WFM kits.
Bro, what?
So yeah, dude,
Bro, are
I'm
you master
strictly
grade
that-
only?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, okay. That's a good way to keep your backlogs down, for sure. For sure. Because
dude,
those
like,
Witch from Mercury high grades, it's addictive.
One
You
day
touch
we'll
one, you touch
corrupt,
them
we'll,
all.
cor- we'll corrupt him,
Definitely.
Cody. We'll get him to come to the high grade side of the force.
If anything, I'm gonna start with real grade, and I'm gonna do the real grade high noon. But that's still like down the line.
Let's get
Down the
that
line.
MG I knew done first as a dude.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Snap build for the Sweatshirt and the Caliban.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Hey. Hit us.
Is it really even a question for me?
Passing on them both.
With as much as I rant about the Schwarzette. Yeah, hard
Oh,
pass.
pass
There
it.
we go. No.
Your backlog
actually,
tower says otherwise.
You would be surprised.
I feel
What do you mean it doesn't buy Gundam?
So let's see, for the Schwarzette, oh yeah, no, it's a whole 9 yards. It's paint completely. The Caliban is somewhere in the middle. Like I look at it and it's like, yeah, it's cool, and then I look at it and it's just like, okay. So it's probably gonna be a snap for me. I might go a little bit extra here and there. But like the rainbow colored V-fin and permit effect that it gets, I don't need those. I don't
I'll
need
take
those.
them from
Just just give me the regular colored ones. I'll either that or honestly, I kind of like the look of it without it. Like I think it looks cool just deactivated.
Sure.
But yeah, so Schwarzette, whole 9 yards. Yeah, paint definitely. Caliban, snap.
Alright, yeah.
And it's a great
David?
place. It's a great place to land on me because as much as I rave about the Schwarzette and as much as I like the design of the Witch from Mercury kits, I think you all know if you've been following me, I just snapped my Witch from Mercury kits together. The only one I did any extra work on is the aerial. I panel lined the first aerial, but honestly, after seeing the 1/100th aerial, I'm happy just snapping them together. Seeing like the permit scores on the 1/100ths, they're just way cooler. And if I'm going to put my effort and energy into something, I'd rather do it with the 1/100th eventually. So I'll probably just snap them together, do a nice clean build, apply the the foil stickers, as nice as I can and leave it there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hate me, love me, doesn't really matter. I still snap them together. It takes a lot for me to paint a kit or panel line it.
So what I'm hearing is that's a hard pass from you until they make the 1/100 scale aerial
No,
rebuild.
I'm gonna snap them, but it's just gonna be a snap.
I wonder if the rebuild's gonna get the master grade because Ariel gets the full mechanics. I wonder if they're gonna hold back and let the rebuild get the master grade. I know it's an aside. I'm sorry. But
I'm still
I'm
waiting
curious.
for my IBO MGs. I'm not holding my breath for anything which from Mercury yet.
Fair.
I don't know, man. We got the Barbatos was the first one. Like, the first Barbatos was the same one that got the MG, so maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it could get
That's
one.
true.
Aerial.
It's
But then
true.
again,
Yeah.
you could do Lefrith, aerial rebuild, Caliban and Schwarzette all on pretty much the same frame. I think the way they did the 00 kits. I don't see how.
True.
Yeah.
That would be sick. I
Yeah,
would be
you
down with
could.
that.
The
I
Grays
mean-
was a RE100, wasn't it?
What one's that?
From
I
IBO. The Grays. Because
The Grays? No, I think it was full mechanic.
Yeah, no,
Full
Reborns is strictly UC, and then Full Mechanics is almost always everything else.
Oh, so it must
Oh,
be
okay.
the full mechanics then. But yeah, I
Yeah,
gave
that's like
him
the
my
confusing
grades.
part.
So, because I was like, oh yeah, I don't I'm going to build this. Gave him it, and then got told that kit is like unicorn shit, and I was like,
Alright, so
Oh,
what's
well.
our next one for Snap Paint
Yep.
Pass, David?
Our next one, which actually kind of comes full circle again. IBO has a way of doing that. MGSD Barbatos. So that should be hitting in August, I believe, isn't it? Next month? In end of August, if I'm right.
is
Or is
it August? I think
think
it's
so.
October, mate. I think it's October.
Is it? I have to wait a little longer, do I? Anyway, I'll tell you what,
Maybe.
I'll
I
find out
don't
and I'll
know.
throw it up on the screen. The Bandai pre-production pictures. But I've seen it very recently at some show on online where it's like literally there in person, posed up with the
October.
inner frame and stuff. I think it's ready to go, dude. I don't think it's that long at all. I mean,
Oh, it says October on the hobby link, so
Okay, fair enough. No, cool stuff. But even so, it's still pretty much round the corner. It'll get here before we know it.
yeah.
So yeah, if we want to do
Oh
snap
man,
paint
time
or
goes by
pass,
so fast.
Tell you what, I'll start this one because
Go on
I'm the
then.
blasphemer and we'll just go clockwise. I'm going to pass. I don't have to justify anything, just pass. Nah, I'm kidding. I say pass because I'm not a fan of the Barbatos. It looks okay, but I don't know. The MGSD line to me is just it's cool, but they're gonna have to do something that speaks to me more than the freedom or the Barbatos.
Exia.
No, not quite unicorn or
Exia.
Exia. Honestly,
Where's
if
the
they
blue
would do
robot?
just like if they would do the new Gundam, like I would take a new Gundam.
The new Gundam.
That's almost guaranteed at
I've
this
seen
point.
some
They did Freedom
mock-ups.
and Barbatos.
Man, I've seen
Yeah,
some
like the new
mock-ups.
Gundam, or even if you really want to get blasphemous, give me a Zeta. Like an MGSD Zeta, that would be cool.
Who knows?
You were gonna say
That
something,
would be-
David. I'm sorry.
Nah, man, I ain't got nothing to say to MGSD Zeta. That's silence to
But
me.
I will say this. I think for the next MGSD, we're probably gonna see a Wing Zero. Maybe not the movie version, like the TV version, or the Proto Zero. Like I've got a feeling that'll be the next one.
Could well be.
Okay.
Wings big.
But yeah, it's a hard pass on the MGSD Barbatos. for
Trey,
me.
were you a Wing kid, dude? Did you watch Wing growing up?
Oh, dude, Wing was the first. Wing was what exposed me to
It's
Gundam.
the first
Hold
in
on.
North America, 1998. Yeah, that's
Was
the
it
first
ni-
one that came. Yeah, it was
Was it
95 in
98?
Japan, and then I think it's 97, 98 for Wing. I can
Always
check that
survive.
again.
Yep.
But
Oh,
There you
good
go.
lord!
VHS. Is that
Oh,
VHS?
good
No,
lord.
no, DVDs. These are the DVDs. It's
Oh,
got
God.
the
yeah,
plus the
DVDs can
OVAs.
fit like only 4 episodes apiece, so they still stack them.
Oh, I know.
Real quick, Trey, is that the Anime Legends DVD set, or is that just
No,
the?
Hold on, let me.
Okay, yeah,
this
'cause
one
That's sick.
Yeah, because I had the Anime Legends from back way when they first put them out on DVD.
Oh no. Oh, some of these discs got loose.
That happens, dude, with those disc clips.
Oh, yeah.
Over time, that plastic.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Yeah.
Those are fire.
Look,
Look at his face. He's about to disappear
Yes,
and watch some wing.
so yeah, Wing was what exposed me to Gundam as like a very, very youngin.
Tsunami.
So
Toonami.
there you go.
Nice.
That's it. But to not digress too much, I'm gonna have to pass on the MGSD Barbatos only because I built and Snap built 2 regular MG Barbatos. So that's my reason on passing.
And if they
I'm
made
surprised. I thought I was going to be the only pass.
Nah, dude. Nah,
the
dude. Your
SD
boy-
line's kind of Marmite, isn't it? Do you know? Do you even understand that?
I only
You
understand it
get
because
really
of
hate
the
it.
Or if it was an
Um,
MGSD wing, would you go for an MGSD wing?
I would still pass simply because there's regular MGs that I wanna get my hands on first. Not including the stuff I have in the backlog, but there's just some regular MGs there that I would like to build beforehand, before I start digressing to other
Sure.
lines, RGs, SDs, even regular SDs. There's a few things there that I saw in store that I would like to build, but MGs are my priority for now. So
For sure.
yeah.
That's understandable.
For myself,
Take it away.
it's ironically it's going to be a pass because I'm a sucker for high grades and I've moved away from like other grades. So I like my real grades, my high grades because it's all 1/144 scale. I love the detail work they're putting in for the Master Grade SDs. Like I cannot deny it, they look crispy as hell. Like, and especially like what Blue's doing with the
Yeah, I was just about to
Freedom.
say.
It's like, oh my god! It's like if you let people go to town on a kit and you can sit there and be like, oh, I appreciate that. But then when you think, can I do that myself? And I look at my backlog and go, I can't really. My own mentality is that's why I got rid of Master Grades. I'm about to get lynched. But the reason I moved away from Master Grades is because with high grades, it's more for the tabletop as well. The scale wise, it all fits in that way for me. So, I mean, I could appreciate it. I can look at them and go, they look crispy as hell. If I got one, I'd build it just because I can say I've built one. But otherwise, it's going to be a pass. So, yeah. But over to you, Cody.
Yeah. So small correction on that wing comment. It was actually 2000, March 6th. So I was off by 2 years. I thought it was 98, but first US release was in 2000, with G Gundam following up in 2002. Digression aside, for the Barbatos, I've been back and forth on that one. Same with the Freedom. But I'm going to go with pass for probably the same reasons Joe has. I'm not so
Wow.
strict on scale. I actually started with Gundam. My favorites were the toy SDs, where they were like the minifigs. If I still have them, I'll try to find them. I loved them. Those were super cool. I also had the figures. One of my favorites was the new Gundam and the Death Scythe Hell, with the bat wings, and it closed up. I had the Endless Waltz Wing Zero as well in the SD. So I'm not like against SD. But since I've gotten into the kits, I actually prefer the proportions of your standard suits. Something about the SD super deformed figure style, it just doesn't really speak to me. I will, however, say I will more than likely pick up the Neo Zeong because it's the Sinanju and it sits in the Neo Zeong and it's a reasonable size and it's only $25. Like hell yeah! If I'm gonna try out SD, I'm gonna start there. For Barbatos, I also stay away from kits I already have. I think with the one exception I'll probably do is the aerial with the full mechanics or master grade, depending, because it's just a different build style. And then of course the new and the Sazabi. But again, those are like everybody's like, yo, the master grade Sazabi Verkad, that is like penultimate master grade. If you're gonna build master grades, you gotta have it in the collection. I'm like, righteous. Same with the new and the Sazabi for real grade and master grade. So I like to build that sort of thing. If the Freedom and the Barbatos kind of hit that level, then maybe. But I have the Freedom 2.0 on my backlog, and I'll probably put the Barbatos Master Grade in my backlog because I'm looking at David's photos. I might need that. So I think I'm going to pass. I think I'm going to pass for now. It's a tentative pass. So just like Trey and Joe, it's going to be for now until, if I start running out of things or I need something smaller, then for sure.
Okay, looks like I'm well outnumbered on this one. I'm surprisingly enough, as someone new into Gundam, I mean, it's always been in my peripheral, being, growing up in Thailand as well. So I got exposed to a lot more Japanese stuff than, there'd be stuff I'd be talking about or bringing home from Thailand, and no one would know what it was growing up. So it's always been like around me, but I've only recently started getting into it, watching the shows, building the Gundams this past year. And the two favorite kits from a design perspective that I like, number one is probably the Strike Freedom, and number two is the Barbatos, which, crazy enough, is the two SD kits. I also absolutely love like chibi style. I think it's great. I think that it's an inside joke. No one takes this out seriously. I mean, if you're looking at a kit like that and going, "Oh, his head's too big and his arms are too short," like you're just chill out, bro. Isn't it? You know what I mean? I think they're cool. They're the first kits. I've got a handful of them downstairs. I've got a handful of them downstairs, SDs, but I just do not like them. There's no posability. There's too many stickers. There's no detail. I don't like them at all. So the fact that there's stuff like the MGSD Freedom and the MGSD Barbatos is like perfection for me. I couldn't ask for more. With that being said, I'm sort of 50-50. At this moment in time, I kind of want to snap build them both because I still haven't done my Freedom, so I'm very excited to, with the announcement of the new one, to get that done. So part of me wants to snap them and get them done, but another part of me does want to go all out. And when I say all out, probably not custom paint, but definitely top coat water slides. I think that's probably all it needs with the amount of detail on them. And I think I was having the same talk with Cody the other day about the fact that because they're smaller but with the same amount of detail as you would expect from a master grade, they actually look a lot more detailed, like hyper detailed, because it's all crammed into a very small space. So I think something like top coat and water slides would be enough to make them look like jewels on the bookshelf. So I would say definitely snap, with possibly customizing paint in the future. So that's cool. That's definitely cool to see that we're not afraid to share our opinions, and we do have different opinions and stuff. So that's really cool. And this is definitely going to. I've got two more. I've got one that I've put on our bullet points, and one more that I've just thought about whilst we were talking about Wing, which you probably all know which that is now. And the one that's going to divide us is not even a Gundam. And it's one of the things that is coming out that I think that we can all at least have a talk about, and that's the Figurized Exodia. So how are we all sat on the Figurized Exodia? Are we going left or are we going right? Cody, you want to chime in?
Oh, I'm glad you did this one because I'm going to gush. So
Let's do it.
So the reason I got into Gunpla and Gundam modeling in general is not because of Gundam. It's because of Digimon. So I was looking for a War Greymon, right? I had the transforming toys as a kid, and I was looking for it. I found a video of the War Greymon. So then it got me hooked. I was like, oh, these are model kits. Let me find that out. Oh, snap. It's the same people who make Gundams. Oh, let me check out Gundam. And it just exploded. So as far as non-Gundam stuff goes, snap, all day long. I'm putting that together. And I will panel line, probably. If it's got those nice little grooves to it, Exodia looks sick. And it's getting a Blue Eyes White Dragon. If they don't make a Blue Eyes Ultimate or a Red Eyes Black Dragon, we riot. Ooh. And there needs to be a Wing Dragon Guardian of Ra. And I need the gods. Obelisk for sure. But definitely Ra. If there's no gold-plated Ra, we riot. So I'm definitely, it's going to actually probably snap in a little bit of effort. A little bit extra effort.
I honestly, I've seen the figurized Exodia. I sent it to a friend. He wants it, and I know he is mad about like Yugi and stuff, and so it's like my cousin. But myself, if I had to pick like a figurized kit to figurize, I wouldn't mind some of the Toon kits if they did them. I always liked some of the Toons, and the proportions would be funny in the model kit form because obviously Bandai have got the SD line, they've got the normal lines. Mash that together, give me some oversized proportions, give me some Toons, and then I'd be like, let me snap all them. But Exodia, I'm gonna be a pass unfortunately because it tickles that itch, it scratches that itch a little bit in the back of my head. It's like, oh, that looks really good. It's like that was like one of them. Like if you had the cards as a kid, everyone was like, ooh, you like Exodia, and you're like, yeah, man. But for a kit, I'm like, it would look dope in a collection, but for me, it's just gonna annoy the crap out of my own brain. So, it'd just be a pass. So, but yeah, I can highly appreciate it though. Like, I know you guys are going to be super passionate about it, but for me, it's like it's just going to be a pass because I'm down this rabbit hole, and it's like I need my big chunky mecha. Oh, did you say about other kits though, David? Did anyone see these Singularity kits?
No.
Oh,
No.
the crab walking looking one.
I think I posted in the chat. It was
Oh, those
like
things.
like it literally just dropped. It's out now, the Singularity kit, but the
Wow, that was
game's
quick.
not out. Yeah, the first one's out, and the second one's out next month. And when that arrives, oh, you guys are gonna get bombarded with pictures because
Down.
yeah, I want that game, and the mech they look really good, really nice mecha. So it's like they've pulled from A-Main, like the them style kits, and they've pulled from Gundam stuff and just gone smash. And there we go.
Oh yeah, now that
So-
would look cool actually, Joe. You're right.
So it's all sort of like mixed in. So, but yeah, over to you then, Trey. What's your verdict on Exodia?
I would get two, one for painting and one for snapping. So
Yeah.
paint wise, okay. So again, you kind of said it with the duality thing, and that's exactly what I would go for. I would snap build one, keep it as like the classic prime OG Exodia that we all know, and then the one I would go crazy with in paint, I would do the Exodia Necros style. So like,
My boy.
I was so
Yeah,
hoping you would
boy.
say that.
I
Yes.
was expecting you to say that when you said you were buying two.
yes. So that's where I stand. I'd snap and paint. Snap just for like classic look, and then paint, and I mean like the whole thing. So I mean like priming, painting, like doing the shading and all that stuff. Maybe panel lining depending on on how spicy I feel like getting. But definitely at the bare minimum, if like guns to my head, at least paint. At least paint
Oh,
one.
okay. So,
yeah.
since you're another like Yu-Gi-Oh guy, are you doing
Yeah.
the blue eyes, or have you done the
Okay.
blue eyes?
I have not. Again, only because of my current backlog I'm trying to work through.
Okay.
And I know most of you guys know about like my current job situation, that BS. So it's like, yeah, I'm kind of
Yeah.
But actually, the blue eyes. One of my buddies, you guys probably know him, Renovan Gundam 7. He actually built up the blue eyes, and he said, "Man, that thing was hella sharp. Like the
Yeah.
pointy teeth. My goodness."
Dude, I was looking
Yeah.
at the blue eyes in a store today. Like I said, I went around looking for the Schwarzette because a few people do have them in Thailand.
Yeah.
And they'd built up a model, blue eyes, and that thing, sharp is the right word. It's angular, it is mean looking, very blue.
Yeah.
And it's covered in fingerprints as well, so there's one thing to think about.
Gotta wear the gloves.
Yeah, because it's a super glossy finish,
Yeah.
isn't
It's
it?
got that pearlescent,
Yeah.
so it's kind
Yeah.
of matte.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's
And
kind
you,
of
Jake,
like...
what about you?
Sorry, man, before we move
No,
on.
go.
It's actually kind of like the material that you, especially the wings, the material that you get in the Dynamez legs and that. What's it called? GN
Yeah,
particle.
Oh,
Yeah, the
yeah, like
particle
the
drive.
resin. Yeah, the resin kind of cables.
Yeah,
Almost.
it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see it properly, but like this thing right here.
The wings are
Yeah, it's
100%
almost see
Yeah.
through.
But the
Translucent,
like
pearlescent.
the skin, the
Yeah.
scales are kind of like that too as well, but just thicker and less rubbery.
Nice.
But it's big. It's
Like,
huge.
yeah,
Man, I'll
I
tell you
heard-
what, I'll talk about it when it's my turn. Let's
Okay. Jake, snap, pass, or paint?
I'm gonna have to go Joe's route on this one, and say that it looks excellent. Like it looks awesome. Trey, I look forward to seeing what you're gonna do with painting one as Necros.
Yeah, bro, for real.
But
Yeah.
for me, it's probably gonna be a pass. And I say that because I was a Yu-Gi-Oh fan as a kid. I still do like it for nostalgia's sake. But
Mhm.
if they were to do like a Red Eyes, then I might consider.
Okay.
Because
okay.
I was always the outlier when it came to Yu-Gi-Oh. It's like, oh, everybody wants either a Blue Eyes or a Dark Magician. Fuck that. Give me a Red Eyes.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Or what was the other one? From
Blue Eye Shining.
GX. No, from GX. It was Shining Flare Wingman.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, like give me one of those, or like one of the Destiny heroes.
Oh my god,
like,
could you imagine a Cyber Dragon?
Master. Yeah, now that would
Oh,
be
dude.
cool. A Cyber Dragon would be cool.
Cyber Dragon.
You want
is
to
sick.
be on that one. The Cyber End Dragon. Triple
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah.
Three-headed.
Spicy.
Yep. Now that would be cool. I would go for one of those, but Exodia, nah, I'm good. And on that note, Cody, I don't know if you remember seeing, back way when in like the early 2000s, they had the Egyptian god models. I don't know if you might remember those or not.
Vaguely. I think those are the
'Cause I had
snap
a-
ones, right? You pop them out.
Yeah, well, I don't know that they were the snap ones, but like I think they just came in pieces, and
Oh,
you
okay.
just put them together. Because
Okay.
a friend of mine, whenever I was a little kid, he had all of them. Like he had Ra, Slifer, Obelisk, and I think they made an Exodia, but he didn't have that one. But he did
Yeah.
have the Blue Eyes Ultimate that they made.
That's so nice.
But yeah, it's gonna be a pass for me, a respectable pass nonetheless. But I look forward to seeing what people do with it.
I'm gonna turn off this light.
Oh,
Red
I
eyes,
see
right?
it.
Right. Red eyes, darkness. Look how fire. That is perfect for figure eyes, right? Am I right?
Ooh. It's got the edges, the lights.
Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon.
Ooh, yeah. You start throwing the metal in.
It's in my handle.
Put my references away before I get too excited.
Right, guys. Anyway,
And now I believe we're over to David.
I'm gonna throw my opinion down, and I want to throw it down from the point of view that Yu-Gi-Oh was massive in my life as a kid. One of my best friends I met playing Yu-Gi-Oh way back in the Dark Magician, Kaiba Yugi structure deck, so like day one. I've followed multiple metas. I actually used to vend quite a bit when I was at that age where I had enough income to buy boxes. And that was all right for a while until they started reprinting everything every 5 minutes. But I fell off it recently. I fell off it since Pendulums pretty much. But that being said, I would pass on Exodia, and I would pass mainly because when they announced the Blue Eyes, I was like, my God, I need them. I need to buy 3 of them, and I need all 3 of them. And then I sort of saw them in person. I saw the boxes, I saw the price tags, and I don't have them. And I think the same is going to be said for Exodia. I think it's probably going to look very nice. It's probably going to be really cool, but is it something that I want? I just don't think it's what I'm after. I think that what Yu-Gi-Oh brought into my life and the time it brought it into my life is totally different to what Gundam brings into my life and what I want from Gundam. And I don't think those two cross over. I think there's exceptional statues already. If you're willing to throw down a few quid, I think you can get something that's ridiculously detailed of the exact monster that you want. And apart from the nostalgia, both Blue Eyes and Exodia don't really hold a place. They're not decks I ever played. They're not monsters that were ever sort of like I never played them as my hero monster. So it's a pass. surprisingly, it's a pass.
So Trey, how do you feel? Straight to Shadow Realm? Surprisingly, straight to Shadow. Straight to Shadow Realm.
It's,
Throw down a face down.
Activate
Now,
my
you activate my trap card.
Wow. I gotta do to you what Seto Kaiba did when facing down Pegasus. Well, actually, it was facing down Yugi and Karibo. Stand on the edge. The blast will knock me off the building. That's what you're doing to me right now.
Man, you'd hate me even more if we played Yu-Gi-Oh together. I was always that guy which just pulled out the OTKs and locked you out of every single play, no matter what it was. Like, if you were playing something meta, I was playing something crazy, like Fire Fists mixed with Yusinjus or something. Like
So the last deck I played was like Crystal Beast and Rainbow Dragon because it was pretty. I did not know anything about meta, and it was all kitchen table because I'm a Magic player now. And that's all I do is kitchen table. So when you're talking about meta, I'm going to be jank, just straight jank.
I'm like a typical anti-meta player. Typical anti-meta player.
So,
Can't keep up.
just to quickly sidetrack, if anyone wants to look at that Sinduality of the Daisy Ogre, I've just linked it in general. If anyone wants to have a quick gander at that, you can have a look at it and be like,
Right,
what the hell is this?
I'm going to stay away from that just because I'm in the middle of recording the screen, but
Yeah.
that's all cool.
Well, that for me is going to be a snap, paint, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And that's high grade. That's a lot of detail. That's pretty dense. That's really cool.
And you get both pilots. You get the lass who sits in the coffin in the back, and then you get the pilot who sits in the chest.
You know what that actually puts me in the mind of, Joe? It looks a lot like Machine Krieger.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. That's a proper throwback, that. Yeah.
It does. It looks a lot like Machine Krieger kit.
But yeah, so that'd be a snap, pain, everything for me. So roll on next month when the other one releases. I'm going to get them both done at the same time.
Epic. So before we end our episode, we're over the 2.5 hour mark now. So my wishes of a lean and mean episode are well and truly out of the window.
Sorry about that.
We'll get you there, David. We'll get you there. We promise.
As is my dream of a full 8 hours sleep tonight. But anyhow, I do have one extra one that I want to throw in that I didn't put down, that I just thought of when we were talking about the wing stuff, and that's the RG Ep.1. How we all landing on the RG Ep.1? Snap, paint, or pass?
We'll do it quick. Go around the circle.
Yeah.
Pass.
Where we're going? Which way?
Oh, so we're going to Jake, then to Trey, then to Joe, then to Cody.
I'll just say pass.
Pass.
Not because I've got anything against the Ep.1, but just, it doesn't jump at me.
Yeah, it's going to be a pass at the moment, but I love the Ep.1. It was always that one suit that I did. When I first saw it wing, I was like, it's got a whip, it's a dragon, it does it all. I was like, ugh. Yeah. I was like, I love it. And the pilot, I can't remember his name. It wasn't
Zex.
Trey's.
That boy Zex.
Yeah.
Zex, Hero. One of the two of them piloted the damn thing.
Yeah, and it was just like, I loved it. I loved his cocky attitude. That's why in IBO, this is something David's probably going to hate. I loved McGillis.
I like McGillis.
Of how he wore the mask and everything. And then it's like, you clearly saw his hair. It was like,
yeah,
I know who that
I
is.
know
I know
Chocolate
who that guy is. So, yeah. But yeah, I loved it. Unfortunately, it's going to be a pass at the moment because UC. So, Cody?
I'm definitely getting it. I have the real grade wing and all 144 scale wings. So I'm just going to keep going with it, except for Endless Waltz will be master grade. So I know that there's an Ep.1 Endless Waltz in master grade, but I saw the real grade come out and I'm just switching lanes. So the last Endless Waltz master grade is going to be the Vercod, and the rest is 144 scale. I think that We'll keep it nice and buttoned down.
Nice.
All right, cool.
So for me, it would be.
Hey, we skipped you.
Did we?
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
I like.
David.
I said pass immediately. I thought we were going like boom, 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 boom. So as soon as
Oh.
you said pass, I was like pass, and then Joe took it. And then...
Oh, okay. It must have cut out because I was like, did we just leapfrog Trey?
No. When David plays sends us the playback, you'll hear me chime in really quick.
Okay, well, David, excuse me. Go ahead.
Pass. Pass with an asterisk, actually. Pass right now.
He's unsure. He's unsure.
No, not unsure at all. But if they end up doing them all, Endless Waltz style, I'll probably end up backtracking and getting a set of them. But on its own, I'm not interested.
Yeah, that's fair.
So there we
All
are.
right. Yeah.
Not bad.
So we managed to all ramble on for 2 hours, is it, David?
We're over 2.5 hours now. So with a little bit of
Jesus,
trimming, we're
it does
probably going to
not
cut
feel
it
like that.
2.5. It's been a nice night. I've been dreading this, honestly, because as you all know, I've been dealing with a world-ending disease.
Been under the weather just a little bit.
No, I'm not going to say it because apparently if you say that word on YouTube, then they don't like it. So I'm not going to say it, but I've not been feeling great this week. So I've been dreading tonight just because I didn't know how it was going to go or how much effort it was going to be on my end. But it's been great. It's been very smooth. Glad we had no hiccups and everyone had plenty of opinions to share. And again, I like it when our opinions aren't always the same. I know we poke fun a little bit, but that's what's nice about this. We can all get along just fine. There's enough room here for everyone. Even you guys who like, Amaro Ray.
Who? Don't know who you mean. Oh, well, he is a little bit mashed up there, though. So.
Oh, look at him.
Hang on, let's see something here real quick. Whoa.
As long as we're not Riddy fans. The only thing that was redeemable was the Banshee, and even still, fuck Riddy.
Yeah.
Right, we're not. It's just shit on our most hated pilots now.
I have to shout out Zaku Taku whenever they reviewed Unicorn, Garcil and Jose, and they just killed it. They said Riddy is the Uncle Ruckus of Gundam.
Oh, stop.
Yep, Riddy is the Uncle Ruckus of Gundam. He hates new types, but he's a new type too.
Oh my god.
Is he me?
That is a
Am I
perfect
him?
comparison.
Oh my god.
Got kicked in your chest.
Yeah.
Listen, Mark and Garcia, they about died when he said that. Just, oh god.
That
Anyway,
is
guys,
perfect.
I'm going to wrap it up here on a nice little funny note. If anyone wants to drop anything into the end here, all our links are going to be in the description, or anything else that we're doing, YouTube, Twitch, it's all going to be there, so have a look. I'll also be linking the guys who aren't here today. We are all on different time zones, we all work different jobs, different hours, so bear with us if it's not the same faces every week. However, it is a revolving round table. And like I said, I'm kind of up for the idea. If Trey, if you wanted to take the lead next month, sorry, I'm more than happy for you to do episode 2. But that's something we can talk about in the meantime. Until then, thank you very much, and keep an eye out for our video game special, which will probably drop shortly after this one. So from me and everyone who's not here, see you next time.
Peace, guys.
Everybody.
Peace.